with another live as we are here at 9:33 a.m. Eastern Time on December 7th. We just found out a little over an hour ago that Aaron Judge has returned to the New York Yankees on a 9-year, $360 million deal. I can't say that I was overly, over the moon for this one. I am happy that he is back, like we talked about yesterday. I think it's great for Yankee fans to know that your captain, or he should be captain, is back. But it is a lot of money in a lot of years. And before we get started with anything, before we start our debate, Enrique, I'll let you start. You were a big advocate for Aaron Judge yesterday, so I'll let you, take the floor for a couple minutes with this one.
I mean, bro, this is the best news you could wake up to, dude. I was pumped, man. I was here in my car, um, just doing my daily routine, you know what I'm saying, on my way to the gym. And for some reason I was like, let me tune in to Boomer and Geo on the fan. You know what I'm saying? Maybe something might break this morning. Thinking, you know what I'm saying? Because you heard rumblings last night that maybe something might break. You had the whole arson judge thing from John Heyman and the fake report he was going to San Fran. So I mean, you had a feeling that something was going down one way or another. We talked about it off air, Sean, that we had to be ready, that it was the bewitching hour, that something was gonna go down. So I was like, let me tune into the fan. And all of a sudden, I'm like there just about to get to my gym, dude. And I just hear, you know, Geo come back from break on the Boomer and Geo show, and you just hear "Bah, bah, 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 bah." All of a sudden, breaking news, Yankee fans. It's not fake. We're not messing with you. We're not trolling with you. Aaron Judge resigns. And bro, all I could do was pump my fist. I was clapping. I was doing every type of reaction you could think of, dude. This is a great day. This is what a way to wake up this morning, man. I'm pumped. I know my buddy there, Alex, ain't too pumped. You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at him.
He's
But
sitting there in the
I'm
darkness.
pumped,
I can
baby.
see
I'm pumped.
it.
I'm loving life. Sean, you don't sound too pumped either, brother. I was telling y'all off air, bro. What's the gloom and doom here, boys? What's up, man? Y'all should be happy. Y'all should be pumping your fist
2026.
like me. Come on, bro. Y'all acting like it's a funeral up in here, bro. Let's
Well,
let's
there's
get
many
pumped. Let's
points.
jam. Let's party, baby.
There's many points that I'm gonna bring up. Yeah, like I said, I am happy that Judge is back because he is a phenomenal player, and especially will be for the next couple seasons,
Our
and whatever,
captain.
3, 4, 5 seasons. And yeah, he will be the captain, the first captain since Derek Jeter, which is awesome. He deserves it. He deserves the contract he got. He deserves everything that's come his way. But I'll
I
get
mean,
into all that
I mean,
before.
bro. Before you get going, just look, man. I know we spoke last night, and you boys brought up every single counterpoint to the Judge signing, and we even spoke off air about how it was too much money when the report came out that San Fran offered him the 9-year $360 million deal that the Yankees ultimately matched. And I know you boys, especially you, Alex, you were hoping he would take it because you didn't want the Yankees to be locked up in that type of financial responsibility. And you brought up all these points, both of y'all did, about how it would be a detriment to the Yankees in the latter years of the deal. And that's fine. Nobody's disputing that. But like I said last night when we were on the live, man, you cannot dispute how good he is, now in his prime. The latter years, you don't pay a contract like this with the latter years in mind. You're paying a contract like this because you want to maximize what this man can do for you during his prime, during his good years, and hopefully, maximize him bringing you one to multiple championships. I know we thought that maybe that might not happen if this is all the Yankees do. And I'm hoping now that this gets done that it's not all they do. But I'm telling you, I said it last night and I will maintain firm on it now that the deal is done. The Yankees are a better team with Aaron Judge than without Aaron Judge right now. I'm not talking later on when he's DHing and when he's older. I'm talking right now because your window is right now. Let's not forget, you got Garrett Cole in his prime right now. You know what I'm saying? You got Aaron Judge in his prime. Those are your two stars on this team, respectively. It's win now for the New York Yankees. Make no mistake about it. So if your window is now, you have to lock these guys up. And I'm glad they did, because that window would have gotten a lot smaller had they not re-signed Aaron Judge. Make no mistake about it.
I think you're muted, Alex.
Can you
There
hear
you
me?
are. Yep, there you are.
Okay, sorry. My bad, my bad. That's a mistake because the window would have been longer if you don't re-sign Aaron, able to get more players in their prime if you don't deal. It's kind of like what you said yesterday, Enrique, and I'm gonna throw this back at you because you said something and now you need to now you need to kind of answer for it. You
Okay.
said yesterday that you don't have faith in this organization's pivot. Guess what? You're in a pivot moment right now. You just paid this guy. And guess what? You just paid him and you haven't done anything else. Canely don't count.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't done anything else. If these the winter meetings end today, no? Today's the last
Yes.
day? Okay. If they leave today with only signing Aaron Judge, these winter meetings were a
Oh, it's a failure
fucking
for sure.
failure.
It's a failure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's a failure. So we got what? 15 hours
Mm-hmm.
to get something else done. So right now this could be all, throw up your pom pom, throw a little parade for signing Aaron Judge to this monstrosity of a deal, sure. But if in these next 15 hours nothing else gets done, it's a
I
failure
agree.
by the organization.
I agree.
So no, that's why I can't get excited for this, because until
I'm
I
the
see
same
the
way.
end result of today, if I don't see if at the end of today all you did was re-sign Aaron Judge, something you could have done before the season started, something you could have done,
Oh,
a long
yes.
time ago, to run back the same freaking team that got swept by Houston last year. Fuck you. This is a failure, absolute failure, and a disaster of an offseason, an absolute disaster
Yep.
of an offseason.
And
I agree. I
that's
agree.
what I was that's what I was trying to say.
That's why we're not
Yeah,
happy. That's why we
Well,
can't
I
get
mean,
happy.
but
We can't
I
get
but
am
you
excited about
gotta
this
get
frustrated.
shit.
happy that you got your captain back. You got your face of the franchise back. The
Yeah,
rest, it
but
remains to
they
be
shot
seen,
I
man.
themselves
have
in the
the same
foot.
team that got
And
the
this is
swept.
the
what I
rest
was
remains to be
I
seen.
got the
And I
same
agree
team that
with
got
you
swept.
guys that this should have been done a long time ago. And had you
yes.
been smart and done it a long time ago and not gotten on his bad side, not leaked the contract details and not tried to nickel and dime him, you could have had him to a long-term deal at a much more team-friendly rate. I
Yep.
agree with y'all. There's no mistake about that. And Alex, to answer your question, or your point, make no mistake about it. I still don't have faith in this front office. I stand by my statement last night, but that has no bearing on me being excited and happy about getting back the face of the franchise. Now it's put up or shut up for these guys. And now it's about, like I just said, maximizing that window, that win now window that you got. Do I have faith that they'll do it? No, I'm like
The
you
window's
guys.
still short. It's a
I
short
am
window.
in I am in wait and see mode. I'll believe it when I
You don't
see it.
sound like it. You don't sound like you're waiting to see mode. You're excited. You're super excited. So you're not
About
in waiting to see
Judge,
mode. Up.
one that has
So
nothing to do
All
with
right,
the
but
other.
the thing
I'm
is,
a fan of the team. I'm not a fan of the player. Fuck the
No,
player.
but
I'm
that's what I'm
a fan
saying
of the
though.
team.
The team would have been worse without him. That's
They
my
still
point
suck
to
with
y'all.
him. They still suck with him.
But imagine how much worse they would have been without him, Alex. That's what I'm trying to tell you. The drop
Okay,
off
so
would have been massive, bro.
okay, the drop off is basically you have an unwatchable team in the playoffs to having an unwatchable team in the regular season. That's the only drop off. It's not much of a drop off for me personally. It's an
Bro,
unwatchable
I
team in the
see
without him,
playoffs.
I don't even think they would
I
have been a
see both
playoff team,
points.
especially if you maintain an IKF on the team, if you maintain John
Yes.
Donaldson on the team,
Yeah,
which
which is still
all
there.
reports are that they're trying to trade him and
Aaron
nobody
Hicks is
wants
still
him.
there.
You know what I'm
Aaron Hicks is
saying?
still there. It's
Yeah, bro.
the same
So I
team.
I
mean,
get it.
Same
It's
team.
they're
still
not a playoff
relatively
team
early.
without him. Make no mistake.
Yes, it's
They're not
still
a World Series
relatively
team with
early.
him.
But I
But
think, like I've been saying,
Mhm.
is that I will be happy about this when I see Rodon or something of his caliber and two more people of his caliber
Two,
come
two,
along with it.
two.
I mean, listen, they got no choice but to add another starter after losing Tyone last night to the Cubs.
Not
Well,
necessarily,
they
So
no.
yeah,
Not
not
necessarily, no.
necessarily, but
No.
because you already have four
You already have
very
four.
good
Yeah.
pitchers, and if you add a fifth, then you're set. You're really trying to get five starters because you want to. The Yankees were prone last year to use the bullpen so much that they were burnt out by July, and
that's
that's
what I'm
where
saying.
that's where we
That's
had
why
to
I
skate.
feel like
So
you have no choice.
yes,
Yeah,
so
but you
you
don't
really
have
want
to
that
add a
fifth.
starter. A starter's not a priority for this team.
Yeah,
Again,
but
the
you
pitching
also
the
you
pitching
also
wasn't
want
an
another
issue.
lefty. You want another lefty because you don't really know exactly what you're getting from your only lefty right now, and Nestor. Nestor had a great season last year. Thank you.
El
Nestor had a
orgullo de
great
Hialeah, baby.
Yeah, he had a great year. But
with
do you
with the
expect it
fifth.
to be the exact same next year? And
No,
and you
absolutely
can't
not.
say that at 100% certainty. He can. I'm not saying that he can't,
Yeah, he
but you
could.
don't know it right now. And so you need another lefty. You need to have someone that backpacks in case Nestor's, a 4 ERA guy, a high three, sub three. You don't know. It's not. There's nothing in full that you can fully determine. So you need someone like Rodon so that in case Nestor does regress a tiny bit, you have already a solid number two lefty right there in the wings. And so Rodon is what you have to go. I expect, honestly, for me to be like, okay, starting to believe. If I see Rodon by the end of the day, I see something. Rodon has signed some deal with the Yankees, whatever, 30 million a year. Give it to him, because that right there tells me, all right, there's more moves to come after Rodon, but I like this one. Our pitching is set. A couple of bullpen moves here and there. They're gonna obviously go and look into Benintendi because the Astros are really deep into talks with Benintendi right now. Not saying that it's like they're close or anything, but they've been talking to him for like 5 straight days now. So if you want to keep Benintendi from not being an Astro, because the Astros are only gonna get better here. They already got Abreu. They're looking into Contreras from the Cubs. They've talked to Benintendi for left field. If they get those three guys, which already got one, man, dude, our Judge signing compared to those three signings doesn't even compare.
Hmm.
So, they're only getting better. So now the Yankees need to, just because you put your foot on the gas for Judge, don't take it off.
Mm-hmm.
You got to
I
continue.
agree.
I know the winter meetings end tonight, but I expect another deal tonight and expect, throughout this week and next, the Yankees continue because the only way we're going to be better than Houston, where's my quotes? There it is. My better than Houston is if you got Judge and three other guys by the end of the month,
Hmm.
like A value guys. I'm not saying or B value guys because Benintendi is whatever, and I think Benintendi is gonna come back eventually. But even with the re-signings of Rizzo Judge and Canely is basically re-signing because he didn't really do anything in L.A. Rizzo Judge, Benintendi, Canely, it's like that team's just getting right to the ALCS next year and
Yeah,
getting bounced once again in a sweep.
exactly.
So I don't want to go to mid October just to go. All right, guys, good season. All right,
Hmm.
you guys did great.
That's what I'm
Thanks
saying.
for beating Cleveland again.
That's what I'm
You know,
Yeah.
saying. I'm
there needs to be so
100%
much
with you
more.
guys. I don't want that either. And I definitely don't want to get worse and be one of these teams that is good in the regular season and then you don't even make the postseason because you weren't good enough to even make the postseason. And that's what I'm saying. That's what I feel
Yeah.
But that's where
like
we
we
are
would have
right
been
now,
without
at this very
Judge.
moment. At
And make no mistake,
9:47 a.m., that's where we are.
and make no
Yeah.
mistake, let me tell y'all something. And all reports indicate this, and we heard reports about this all throughout the season. The Yankees wouldn't have been a far worse team without Judge, just performance wise, morale wise. It would have been a huge hit. He's gonna be named the captain of this team for a reason. Like the players looked to him, bro. It would have been a massive blow in a leadership aspect as well if you lost that guy. Who would have been your leader at that point if you would have lost him? He's the unquestioned leader of that team. What,
Well,
Rizzo? Rizzo
Well,
would
you
have
don't know
taken over
yet.
as the leader.
You don't know
We
yet
don't
because what the
know
money
that.
you would have pivoted for Judge. Well, you never know. They could have brought in who knows.
Yeah,
they probably could have gotten three other guys for Judge, and
right.
then you build yourself with.
I mean,
Yeah,
but
Rizzo would have been, I guess, the leader because he's a veteran, but they all would have had experience, and you would have gotten a lot of high value guys for Judge type money. So it's impossible to say in that regard. It's pretty funny though. I was just thinking there's probably half of the Giants fan base who still doesn't even know because it's like 6:45 there in the morning.
oh yeah, oh
So
yeah,
they probably are just waking up to this news right now. So congrats to you
yeah.
guys for seeing this and now knowing for 7 minutes you had Arson Judge on your team, and now
Yeah,
it's a
good luck
different
with that
story.
guy. Good luck with that
Yeah.
guy. I hope he's good for you, bro. Arson Judge, good player right there, Arson Judge. Um, I mean, and like I said, man, like I said, it's a great move, great signing. Just you cannot you cannot underestimate what this man means to this team, what he means to the city of New York, what he means to the fans there. You know what I'm saying? It's your homegrown guy. It's the best homegrown player you've had since Jeter. You know what I'm saying? Like we spoke about yesterday. You're not talking about a hired gun like Alex Rodriguez, who you brought in. You're not talking about a Mark Teixeira, guys like that you brought in to get you over the
Hmm.
hump. This is your homegrown guy that's been there from the get, you know? And like I said, Alex, I get it, bro. I get that you think I'm a homer and I'm just, an Aaron Judge fan, dude, but I'm a fan of the Yankees. And as a fan of a team, and every fan of every team is guilty of this. You want to see your team keep your homegrown guys, especially the ones that become the face of your franchise. You know what I'm saying? That's just how it is. You talked about San Francisco yesterday with Bumgarner. How much did they love Buster Posey? You do you remember how much it hurt them when they eventually lost him to that injury that basically ruined his career and was never the same? I'm sure they were happy that he finished
No,
his career
he
there
was
and never went
fine.
anywhere else.
He won an MVP after that injury. He was fine,
Yeah,
but
but that's what I'm saying.
yeah,
But he
he
wasn't.
retired. He
Yeah,
retired.
but he had to retire early. That's what I meant. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
he retired because he
you
wanted to. He had concussion issues. Again, I just can't. There's just no comparison. Again, I don't mind the signing. There's nothing wrong with the signing to keep him. It's what else do you do? How can you expect us,
Exactly.
Yankee fans, to get excited about the same fucking team that you had last year? How can I get excited about that? I can't. It's
no,
impossible to get excited. I don't know. I
me
don't. It's the
neither.
same team, Enrique. It's the same team. Why am I going to get excited for
Hmm.
the
I know.
same team? Why am I
and
going to get
and they
excited?
shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah,
I was telling Alex this off air. While we were about to go live, is that the Yankees could have solved their own problems going into last season. That 7 year, 213.5. If you just gave him 240 for 7 years, he signs
yeah,
that
done deal.
deal
Done deal.
and it's over. We're talking about 33 a year. All right, great. You still get him till he's 37. Perfect deal. I'll take it.
Deal. Yeah, I'll take it.
But
It's
then you
better than
shot
this one.
yourselves in the foot by playing
Better than this
cheap,
one.
and
Yeah.
he's asking for, and we talked about it all season. And how many podcast episodes have we discussed this where, how cheap did they play the entire time? Where if you just gave him the extra 4 million a year, we don't even have this conversation. Now we're looking at 9 years, 360. Granted, no one expected the year that he had, and
No
it's
one.
incredible.
Mm-hmm.
But at that point in time, going into the season, I could have counted on my hand how many Yankee fans thought that he wouldn't be a Yankee. And by the time he kept rejecting, which of course there's a lot of construction noise here, but
I don't
who
hear
at the
anything. You're
time,
good.
oh, okay, good. That's funny. It's right next to me. But who would have after he rejects that deal, all of a sudden it turned into half the fan base thinks, hey, maybe he leaves. Who knows? Because right there, that was so much disrespect. And then obviously the Time Magazine thing yesterday, and then obviously the contract that was leaked, even though I know Cashman and his team definitely did that shit on purpose, to tell the contract info that he didn't sign. That was disrespectful, and it we shot ourselves in the foot there. So
I
Now you
agree.
have to fix your own problem. Now you settled on an extra 145 million for an extra 2 years at the end when he's going to be 39 and 40. Now you got to do something about it.
By the
It
way,
doesn't hurt Cashman because Cashman most likely I pray to any god out there that he's not here in 9 years from now, so he doesn't have to deal with that the end of that deal.
Exactly.
It does nothing to him. So he can go those extra 2 years. It doesn't portray him in the Yankee uniform. I mean Yankee GM, but I need at least one tonight or tomorrow, whatever. Rodon, something of that caliber, and I know Benintendi is a most likely option. There's got to be more though. I need Senga, whatever it takes. You got to give me three more high caliber players, and then I'll be like, all right, now we got a team. Now we're building something. That's what it
by
takes
the
for me.
way, just as you were saying all this, Sean, an alert came in from Bleacher Report on my phone that San Diego offered him more than the 360 mil that he ultimately wound up accepting from the Yankees, which it sounds weird to say he accepted it from the Yankees because he got it from the Giants and the Yankees just matched. But San Diego was willing to give him more than that. So he left money on the table too. He could have gotten more.
It's
Not sure how much I believe in
not
that though.
fair, but I don't believe that.
Because San Diego's always been doing that. Like San Diego just throws their money at anything at the last
Yeah.
second. Look, they did that with Trey Turner, where they offered him much more at the last second. So, there probably was strings attached. Yeah, maybe there was a contract for 10 years or 9 years at 380 or something, but they probably had some sort of opt out thing in there, or oh, you can leave after three, and so
Right.
the money isn't really there. It just looks like it is on paper. This is probably a
Right.
fully guaranteed 9 years, 360, no opt out, no trade clause. Like he's with us for the rest of his career, sort of deal, like the Giants were giving. I think San Francisco kind of just threw a number out there to kind of wow you, and then with the contract speculations, probably a bunch of opt outs or mutual trade clauses or something nonsense like that.
Well, I mean, whether it's real or not, man, let's just say it is. That just endears him more to this fan base. The fact that he even left money on the table. You know what I'm saying? He basically
Good.
was loyal to the end. He looked to maximize his value, looked to get as much money as he could. And once he had that max offer from San Fran, he's like, okay, so here's the most I'm gonna get. Let me give New York a chance to match it because that's where I want to be. If they don't match, then hey, I'll go home. It's a win-win
Well,
situation for me. And ultimately, the
right
Yankees
right
said,
now we
"Yeah,
don't
bro, of
even
course we'll
know.
match."
We don't even know. We don't even know if San Francisco even offered him 360. That could have just been put out there by his agents to to get to his
Exactly.
attention. That's
Yeah.
never unless you see it come from the team. That could have just been put out there from from his representation that this is what the Giants
I mean,
Exactly.
offered.
it's not like he has Scott Boris as an agent. Like his
He
agent
has a
isn't
good agent.
exactly like,
He has a good agent.
He does have a
360.
good agent.
He has a
oh,
very good agent.
okay.
He has a very good agent.
But
If you,
that's what I'm saying. But that move, like putting the money out there as a
Mhm.
negotiation tactic to
Of course,
drive the price up, that seems like a
of course,
Scott Boris thing. That doesn't seem like,
that's a, that's
I'm
that's a,
not familiar with who his agent is, but
that's an agent
you know,
101 thing. That's agent 101. You use the press to bring up the value that you want. And 360 was the number he was looking for. If San Diego offered him 380, for example, it's the exact same money in California that is in New York. There's about a 5% difference in state tax. So that's the exact same number. So there's no enticement to just go to San Diego rather than the Yankees for an extra 20 million because you're gonna spend it anyways in state taxes. So again, there's no difference there. I don't think there was a bigger offer out there. Again, it's kind of like the tit for tat type of thing. The Yankees put out there that this is the contract that we offered you before the season started. Well, this is what I'm going to put out there to try to recoup my reputation to say that I left money on the table to go back to New York. It's all bullshit at the end of the day. It's all BS from both
I
sides.
think I think the Yankees need to continue to hurt the Giants here and go out and get Rodon. Just
That's
keep that's such a big
that'd be
move.
great. That'd be great.
Yeah. Take
that's
him from the Giants and right there,
I'll be more excited for that if they
yeah,
do that.
exact because that to me is like the okay, all right,
Yeah.
so they're for real.
Well,
It's not just a
it's a
judge
pivot.
judging.
It's a pivot to pre 2009, and that's
Yeah,
what we have talked about. If you wanna be the Yankees again, and you wanna pretty much say "f you" to the entire Major League Baseball, you got to go back to the George days.
yep,
Because it's kind of like you say, Sean. You can't pussyfoot. You cannot be
yep,
1 foot in, 1 foot out.
yep.
So right now we don't know what they're doing if they're going to be 1 foot in, 1 foot out. The only way you show us what you're going to do with your team moving forward, is if you just say fuck it, we're just going to be spenders again, complete spenders. And yes, you give me Judge, you give me Rodon, you get me Benintendi back, you fucking trade for Brian Reynolds. I don't give a fuck. Just give me everything. Get me
Hey,
everything
you can't have because the PR disaster that would have happened with Judge leaving. So they save face right now. It's all
right
save
now. For
face,
now, yeah, for
and
now.
that's what like Enrique. I'm not trying to say that I'm not happy that Judge is back. I am happy Judge is back. And I've mentioned this, I think, since the day he became a free agent, that I'm happy that he's back, but I need to see much, much more. I I,
Of
Much
I
course.
more.
need so much more, and like you couldn't lose Judge. The jersey sales alone basically pay for a half that deal. By the end of
Bro,
his career.
he has his own section in Yankee Stadium.
That's what
Think
I'm saying.
about how awkward
Talk
that
about
would
the
have been. You would
PR
have had to,
disaster
yeah.
that would have happened. So right now it's all save face, and it's great. Judge is back. He's going to be the captain. They'll announce it probably next week. If he'll get the jersey with hopefully there's not a C on it, but like he will be a captain, and that's
Yeah.
great. It's just I need much much more, and you know what? Yes, people like to go back to the Steinbrenner days and George days, I should say. But like the Yankees have been playing as if they were the Oakland A's or the Tampa Bay Rays for the last decade, where they're trying to nickel and dime, and oh well, we're building the
Hmm.
prospects, but we also our prospects in right field aren't that great. I mean, whatever, any position, or in center field. So let's get this B-level guy, and we have a B-level prospect that's sort of in the wings, and Florial. It's always something like that. It's always, and I can't do that anymore. So you're saving face. So enough with this little B-level talent and B-level prospects. Go out and keep getting stars, because that's what the Yankees are. They get stars. We make so much more in revenue. We spend like bottom five in the league compared to our revenue to our cap. What
Yeah, I think Alex
the money's
mentioned that
there.
in a previous podcast.
Yep.
How
Yeah,
you,
exactly. We're
I
bottom
think you
five.
gave the exact numbers, right, Alex? That they spend
Yeah,
really low compared to their
yeah,
revenue.
compared to the revenue, and there's no going to Sean's point there. As fans, we can there's nothing to brag about to say that we're the richest franchise if we're not spending the
Because they
money.
don't spend like it. Yeah, no.
So
It's
there's no reason to even brag about that. It's not my money. I'm not making it. I'm not making a dime off of their revenue. So unless you're spending it, like, what's the point of saying it? Oh, they're the richest franchise. Who gives a fuck? Spend it. Like,
Exactly.
spend
That's
it.
the
yeah.
thing.
That's the
All
thing.
right.
Spend it.
Be the
Show
New
me that
York
you're.
Yankees.
Yeah.
Do
Show
it.
me
I
that
Show
mean,
you're.
us like it.
Sean, you mentioned yesterday. You asked both of us this question, and I'll pose it to y'all again. Let's just say their pivot, their moves that they do next is Rodon and Benintendi on top of the Kane Lee move, which Alex, you say it doesn't count, but again, I think that's underrated, and I think that's going to help our bullpen, especially
Well, you
if
don't
he's
know
the
yet.
Tommy Kane Lee we
He hasn't.
remember.
He hasn't had a
Pitched
full
Because
in
season
remember,
since
years.
remember,
2019.
remember
So,
something. You lost. You're gonna lose a Aroldis Chapman. So
oh, thank God.
you were performing. You were operating without him in the latter parts of the year, but that was still a piece you missed. You don't know if you're bringing back Chad Green, which
Well,
that
no, the
was a guy
Yankees
you
will
were
definitely
counting
make
on.
at least 2 to 3 bullpen moves
Yeah, there's
every
got to
Yeah,
year.
be more
But the
movement.
bullpen
you need to
moves,
retool that bullpen. So
yeah.
if
But
Canely's
I
one
expect
of
the
those
bullpen
pieces,
to
I'm
not be
happy
touched
with it.
until later. I don't expect the bullpen to even be considered until the end of December
Until
No,
the
or
end.
early
I
January.
agree. But what I'm saying is, if Canely's one of those moves to retool the bullpen, I'm happy with it. So I'm not on the same level as Alex saying that move doesn't count, because I think that move, if
It's not.
it's the only move we do to shore up the bullpen, then I agree with you, Alex. It doesn't count. It's
It's not a
BS.
high impact move right
Yeah,
Yeah, and
now.
that's
you
what
don't
I'm
even
saying.
you have no idea what you're getting
But
Yeah, you
if
don't
it's
know what
because
you're
one
he
of
getting.
hasn't had
many
anything
moves,
full since
yeah.
2019. That's 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see, man. We'll see. But anyway, back to my original point to y'all. If that move is tied up to Judge, which now is official, and then you bring back Benintendi, and then you get a Carlos Rodon, are y'all happy?
Eh, sort of, I guess. Again, because again, I never put starting pitching as a priority for this team. I don't think I still don't think it's necessary. So it's a splashy move, sure, and it's a luxury move in my opinion because I don't feel it's a big need because again, pitching was not the issue last year at all. It was the lineup. And so I'd be more inclined to say focus on the lineup. Benintendi
Well,
is a B level signing at best. It's whatever. It's not, I don't find it impactful. We already had him, and
he
we know
was
what we're going
good
to
when
get
he
from
was
him.
healthy.
He was fine, but again, it's not an impact bat. It's a good bat. So I'm looking. That's why I told you I'm looking for impact, a little bit of power, a little bit of a threat when you come up to the plate. People can you can get contact all you want, and obviously I appreciate contact. But I'm talking about an impact bat. I
Well,
don't I
give
don't
me give
I
me
don't
a
see
name.
them.
Give me a name. Who would you want them to sign that's out there? I mean, you could ante up the price and go, and instead of getting Benintendi, you could go act like the Yankees for once and go after Brandon Nimmo if you want to add an outfield bat.
I don't think I,
I'll
don't, I
take a
think
Brandon Nimmo over
they're on the
Andy
same they're on the same
Benintendi.
level. Like I think Nimmo and him are on the same. I'm Benintendi on the same level. So I really don't. I
So who
really
would you
don't.
want? Would you want a Correa? I know San Francisco was rumored to that they were going to go after him and Judge. That they would have wanted to pair them both in
I
the Bay
I
Area.
think
Would you want him?
I think that would really really make a splash and make a difference in the lineup. Make a big difference in the lineup. That's just my opinion. Is that is
Well,
I'm not,
the Yankees said that they wanted two outfielders. So if you're not going to get Benintendi, which the thing is with Benintendi, you have to ask yourself, are you going to get Benintendi? Because it seems like the Astros are going to be. It's either the Yankees or the Astros, and maybe there's some other teams out there.
the
But
Mets.
I
I
think
heard the Mets.
Benintendi wants to play for in the Mets. They want the Mets really want him as a center fielder, which
Right.
I'm not sure about that. But you
So
know,
he's basically their replacement
but he
for
wants a
Nimmo.
contending team.
No,
He
no.
wants a team where he could play 4 years of contending baseball, back to the World Series, and get in there and whatever. But if you're not going to do Benintendi, if Benintendi isn't the right thing, then there's two outfielders. You got one now with Judge. You could still do the pivot with something like Brian Reynolds or
Yes, I,
someone of
I
that
I think I
caliber.
think I think you have to hit the
That
trade.
would surprise me. That would be
I
like,
think you have to
oh
hit the trade
shit.
market now. Yeah, I looked at the list of outfielders that are out there. Nothing would make me happy. You have to pivot and trade. Yeah, no, seriously.
So
You have to pivot and trade
I
because
would like Nimmo, bro. I'll be honest with y'all. I like Brandon
him and
Nimmo.
Benintendi are the same shit. It's the same thing.
and
It's
you
the
know what
same
the
thing.
thing is I like you know what the
Same
funny
thing.
thing is about Nimmo? Like Nimmo, I like Nimmo a lot. I do, but like I didn't consider Nimmo anything special. Like to the point where
No,
I was like, oh man, the Yankees need. I wish the Yankees could get someone like him until he became a free agent. And then it was like,
I mean, he's a
and the
good top
class.
of the lineup guy, bro. Like you
yeah.
put
I
him at
guess,
the
but
very
it's just
top, and
Well,
compared
he's
to the
Benintendi.
not.
class out there, like the free agent class out there. If there were other superstars out there, we wouldn't even be thinking about Nimmo
Oh,
right
of
now.
Yeah,
course, of course.
he's
You're
So
right. You're
it's a
right.
weak outfield class
yeah,
after Judge. So
hmm
since Judge was the cream of the crop, that's it. After him, it's basically just B level talent that's not really going to make a big impact on your team.
I mean, I
So
agree with y'all to an extent, but the reason I like the Nimmo possibility is the same reason I would take Benintendi back because he's a good contact guy and a guy that you could slot in at the top of the lineup and he could give you a good leadoff bat and
not a
possibly.
difference maker
I
is my
mean,
thing. He's not a difference maker. None of them are difference makers.
I mean, you need contact guys, bro. You have
Yeah,
enough
but
power guys
again,
in
but
your
they're
lineup.
not difference makers that will really make an impact on this. Okay, let's roll them out against Houston right now, and we'll kick the shit out of them. No, that's not an
that's
impact.
exactly my point. You
I
got
agree.
six stars over there in
Agree with
Houston
that.
right now, even with
Yeah,
losing Houston. Let's go to their lineup. You have six incredible guys right at the top.
six, six.
And then the last three guys are, the Chas McCormicks and Martin Maldonados. And they're still going to add.
Yeah,
So just
and
imagine if
McCormick
they
killed them.
add,
So whatever.
yeah, just exactly. But just imagine, they move on from Maldonado and go and get Wilson Contreras. Now that's seven.
Yeah,
Top level guys in their lineup.
That's a lineup.
You look at the
That's a freaking
Yankees.
lineup.
You look at the Yankees right now, right? Let's even add Benintendi to the mix. He's resigns, right? Who's scaring you besides Judge?
And
If
Judge is
you're
not
if
even
you're
that scary.
another team,
And Judge is not
if
even
you,
that scary. Let's just keep it real.
but let's just say he's
Yeah.
one of the scariest guys on the team.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
Come
he
on,
is the scariest guy on the team. One of the scariest guys in baseball.
come on,
Your
bro.
Jordan
He's
Alvarez is
not
freaking
that
scary.
scary.
He's not
He's
scary.
not that scary, bro.
When Aaron Judge
Why did
when
every
Aaron Judge
team
was
pitch
coming up to
around
the
him
lineup,
last year? Alex, come on. I cannot
when
agree with
Aaron,
that statement
because he
at
was the
all,
only
bro.
one, he was the only impact bet on the lineup. When Aaron Judge was coming up to the plate in the playoffs, I was like, okay, whatever. It's Aaron Judge coming
Yeah,
into
in
it.
the playoffs because he struggled in the playoffs. Nobody's disputing that. But during the
Jordan
regular season,
Alvarez was
dude, people
struggling in
were
the playoffs,
pitching
he still
around
struck
him.
fear in everybody.
But so did
Yeah,
Judge.
that's kind of the point.
No,
Even if Judge is
Not in the postseason, I'll agree with you because he slumped.
sure,
But in the regular season, dude,
but but
everybody was
even
scared to pitch to him.
even Jordan Alvarez, when he was struggling in the playoffs, was a scary, scary person because you knew
Yep.
what he could do at any given moment. Judge
Yep.
is not that
So
player.
was Judge. I
and,
think
and
No,
Jordan and
absolutely not.
Jordan's
Absolutely
Jordan
not.
definitely was struggling. He had those two really good games,
Against
and then
Seattle.
he struggled, and then he didn't hit his third home run until the World Series. So
Exactly.
but every time you face him, you're like, oh
Oh,
Jesus, man, I don't know.
exactly. Exactly.
Judge, you don't really get that because the thing is that you can pitch around Judge if you want
Yeah.
because who's after him?
Yeah. Who's after him?
You could throw the
But
slider
that's what I'm
away to
saying.
Stanton
But
every second.
when he's up to bat, you feel the same way. Like, oh damn, now we have to pitch the
I,
Judge. I feel
But you
this.
can pitch around
probably,
him. You can pitch around
probably,
him, and that's it.
but you know what? Honestly, yes. I can't speak because I'm not a part of. I'm not a
Like you guys are
not a
speaking
Yankee
about two
fan.
different things. You guys are not. Does Jordan Alvarez have better lineup protection around him? Yes. Do both of them, como tú dijiste
Okay.
in an episode, Alex, in Spanish, los dos te meten miedo?
No,
Absolutely, los dos te meten miedo.
not
Yes,
for me.
bro. You
Not me.
cannot say they don't.
Not me. Not to me. No. It's a
That
different
that
president.
in English, in English, Sean, that's to both of them put fear in your heart. And yes,
Exactly.
bro,
I
both
know.
of them do if you're a starting pitcher or if
Not to
you're a
me.
relief pitcher.
We
Not as
can't
a
say that.
viewer on the
Especially
street.
late in the game, bro.
It's
You
hard
Not
for
as
don't
a
us to
want to
say.
viewer.
face
We
Jordan
see
Alvarez
him.
or Aaron Judge.
It's hard
Lineup
for us to say
protection
that
aside, lineup
because
protection
we
is
don't.
another thing. I'm talking about the player
I know.
themselves.
It's hard to say that though because we don't. We see Judge every day, so we
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
his mechanisms. We know what gets him. So if we were part of another fan base, I bet you every fan base out there does say, yeah, Judge is probably the scariest person on is the scariest person on the team. Probably the scariest person.
On another fan base. If you watch
Yeah.
Yankee games like we do, we know he's not scary. I know he's
And
not
Astros
scary.
fans probably can say something similar where Jordan is still
To
scary to
Jordan.
them, but we know how to get past them. So I see both your points, but this is the whole point of the conversation is, okay, Benintendi's back on the team. The Yankees let's just say Yankees even get Rodon, right? Are we better than the Astros? No,
Nope.
and like that's the whole point of this offseason, right? We're World Series, right?
Yeah.
So that means be better than the Astros.
Yeah.
And the Astros are just going to go and get. The Astros have always played with a great team, but no catcher and a pretty, older first baseman, which they even got another older first baseman, but who is, an MVP 2 seasons ago, with Jose Abreu. So,
Yep.
They're just slowly building. And they're talking deep with Benintendi, like I said before. They've been talking to Wilson Contreras from the Cubs. So, can you
That's a
imagine?
squad.
Could
That's
you
a squad.
imagine Contreras on that team?
That's a
Could you
squad.
imagine if they get a left fielder of that caliber
That's a
on that
squad.
team again?
Mm.
You're talking about a team now that's not even past a juggernaut. They're a super team.
Yeah.
And the Yankees can't. If you're Brian Cashman, you got to look at that team and be like, I need to have a lineup better than that going into, not even opening day, but by October, because
Yeah.
we all know what happens. The Yankees are this. I consider the Yankees the second best team in the AL every season
Mm-hmm.
because they can go in and beat anybody until they run into Houston.
Yep.
Because Houston has built their juggernaut since 2017, where all the they did the suck for 15 years and
Mm-hmm.
build superstars, and then whatever kids that couldn't fill what position, they got the pieces to fill that position. The Michael Brantleys of the world and the pitching of Verlander, Cole, Greinke and stuff like that. They feel it. They know, okay, we're we're good in all these positions but this one. And they're struggling right now with first base, which they covered with Jose Abreu. Catcher has always been a problem, which they don't want to be a problem anymore. I think Corey Lee, which is their top prospect, is going to be out or not ready, I guess, until like mid-June. So they want a really seasoned catcher. Okay, Wilson Contreras, one of the best catchers in baseball, and he's linked to the Astros pretty hard. So let's just imagine they get those guys, or even they don't get those guys. Even if we get Benintendi, Rodon, and Judge, we're still not better. Even if they don't do anything for the rest of this offseason. So that's what I'm saying. Like, yes, it's great to have Judge. It's awesome. Like the Astros won't be as great 9 years from now, but the Yankees still got to do things, at least 3 more big things before I can even go, okay, we're ready. This is World Series now. We got this. This is us.
Mhm.
Because the
I
Astros just have our number.
I agree.
Obviously,
And,
they've
and by
eliminated
the
us 4
way,
times.
not for nothing, but you both of you are here, and this will take my point full circle here. Both of you are here singing the praises of the Astros. How many of those players that you just mentioned are fantastic players from 1 through 6 are literally homegrown Astros? Think about that. Think about that, bro.
Half.
Pena, homegrown. Um, they had Correa, who was homegrown. Bregman, homegrown. Bro, I could keep going. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Altuve.
yeah. So it's like,
Jordan Alvarez.
you don't build your exactly. Well, Jordan was a trade
Yeah,
with Los Angeles, which
but
let me
nobody.
tell you,
Yeah, but
if
nobody
you're a
expected that.
Dodger fan, you're lamenting that trade to the day you
Kyle
die,
Tucker.
bro.
Kyle
Yeah,
Tucker. Yeah, Kyle Tucker's theirs.
yeah.
Mhm.
So it's like, think
No, yeah,
about
they're
it,
all
bro. Like,
homegrown.
Yeah.
But they
so this is what I'm
followed the
saying. You
method.
don't build a team. This and this just goes for any sport, bro. And I've noticed this as being a sports fan all my life of pretty much all 4 major sports.
Mhm.
Hockey, basketball, football, baseball. You don't build a team just going crazy with free agency and trades. You need to have a good developmental system. You know what I'm saying? And not just have that
Phillies don't think
developmental
so.
system, but keep your own
Yeah.
players.
Yeah.
Keep your homegrown players.
Phillies don't think so, and no, and not.
That's not
But
true though. That's not
that's
true
not true.
because it depends on who your fan base. I mean, not your fan base. What your team is all about. The Yankees have always been about bringing in the best of the best,
Yeah.
and the
And
Yankees
keeping
the
and
Yankees
keeping
shot
their
themselves in the
homegrown
foot
though.
though.
They've
Yeah,
they've
but
mixed
see,
in
this is
both.
the whole conversation. Is that they shoot themselves in the foot because they play in and out all day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's develop the guys, but I want this B level talent in free agency or in a trade. But I want this B level prospect to make it. But I also want, the a seasoned vet that's past his prime. Ooh, but this guy's
Well,
good, and he's
we'll see.
coming up.
But my argument to that, Sean, is they haven't been as good at developing their players. And we actually talked with Gary Sheffield Jr. about this when he came on
Uh huh.
with us in a previous episode of our podcast. Um, Shout out to him if he's watching this. Um, when's the last time that they've been good at developing talent like they were in the 90s with Jeter, with Posada, with Williams, with guys like that? It's been a while, dude. Judge is the
Yeah, but they
best
didn't because they
player
didn't
they've
commit.
developed since
Yeah.
that time.
Yeah, but
But
they
they
They've
don't
didn't.
commit to
always
They
been
anything.
don't
swinging
commit
and
to
missing
it.
with prospects, bro.
Yeah, but
And
you
they
have to
always hype
commit.
them up like they're gonna be great, but then they wind up being crap.
But you
Because
have
we
to
don't
commit.
commit to
You have
anything.
to suck. If you're gonna
We
commit, you
have
gotta
to,
suck.
yeah. If you're
You
gonna
gotta suck.
develop the best of the best prospects and build the super team like the Astros have, the Astros sucked 15 years before that.
Yeah.
So they
I know.
build up
I know.
this overabundance of prospects, hoping to get 30% of those prospects to be great, and that's what
Mhm.
But they
happened.
hit on
The
them. That's
Yankees,
the point. They hit
yes,
on
but the
them.
Yankees
They
don't
had to
need to. The
suck.
Yankees
You
aren't going
had
to
to
hit on
suck.
anything because they constantly bring out the winning record thing that they love to beat every year. What prospect you're going to get the year prior if you're going, 89 and whatever,
If you're
73?
picking low in the draft. I get it. I get it. But
Yeah.
you can
So,
still hit, bro. Listen, you can
but you're
still
talking
hit
about
on
even
gems even low in the draft or low in the
That
pecking order of the draft, bro. Judge
yeah,
wasn't
but
a
that's like a
number
after
one
first
overall
down
after
rule.
pick.
10,
It's very rare.
Judge
after
It's
was
very
not a
rare.
number one overall pick. I'm sorry.
yeah, okay, but great. Judge was not an overall
Okay,
pick.
he's a rare case.
Yes, very rare. Look at all the
There's a
first round
lot
picks that
of
have come
cases
in.
like him, guys. A
Okay, but
lot
look
of
at all.
cases like him of players that you find
Sure,
either later in the first round or even like
sure,
in the later rounds of the draft.
sure.
You
But
just
you're
gotta
talking
have a
about
good
one.
front
You're
office
not
that
talking
hits on
about
your draft
multiple.
picks.
Okay, but let's just count each draft then. Each and every draft. Can you name me 3 guys in each draft right now that you know on the top of your head, past the first round, that do anything, that are here? Because there are plenty, but can you think about them? Because if you just there's so yeah after like the 12th to 4th, 13, 14 pick, it starts to you
Crapshoot.
hit the B
It's a
level
crapshoot.
prospects, and and there's still great players. And Judge was a 30th or 32nd overall pick, and we're blessed with that, bro. One of the best picks the Yankees have
Wasn't DeGrom
drafted
like
in a long
literally a
time.
later pick as well?
Yeah, but okay, but you see how rare that is.
Rare,
You
super
see
rare.
how rare to get someone of that caliber. Every guy, like if you count up all the guys in the major leagues right now, 50% of them are first rounders because it's
No,
so rare to
but
have
that's what
someone from
I'm
the
saying.
second,
But that's what I'm saying.
fourth.
I'm not saying that you
Yeah,
can't get a good first. I'm not. Don't get me wrong, guys.
I know what you're
I'm
saying.
saying you don't have to pick at the very top of the first round, is what I'm saying. That you can still get a guy, even if you're picking, let's just say 28th in the first round, you can still
Hmm.
get a stud with the 28th pick in the first round of the draft. You
Yeah,
don't
but
have to have the
look,
number one overall
but
pick like Houston had for so many consecutive years, is my point. If you got a good front office that has good scouts and knows how to evaluate talent, you could find a good player in the first round of the draft, no matter where you're picking.
Sure,
look, Mike
And
but
the
Trout
those
was
Yankees
the
haven't
20,
done
guys.
that since the 90s.
Mike Trout was the 26th pick. Mike Trout was the 26th. He even went
Point,
26.
case in point.
Yeah, but the reason he even went 26 is because he was threatening not to even sign. So people drop for different
Hmm.
reasons. So there's different reasons
Yep,
why people drop. And remember, he got picked with the
yep,
Yankees pick for signing Mark Teixeira. Yeah, congrats.
yeah. He was the
So
Yankees pick. Yep,
he was a Yankees pick. So for signing Mark Teixeira,
hmm,
we lost that pick to the Angels and we lost Mike Trout. So
yep.
again, it's one of those things. It's true.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just one of
No,
those
I know. I
things where,
remember.
yeah, Pete Alonso was a second round pick. Again, these are all people that, again, there's thousands of new players injected into the minor league system every single season. Every season, there's thousands. What comes out of that is a crapshoot. You really, really don't know. You
Yeah.
make the selections that you think are going to be something, and if they turn out great, they turn out
But
great.
if you have a
Again,
good
it's a
They can
scouting
crapshoot.
have the
a
talent,
good
but are they
front office,
mentally
you can
prepared for it?
identify who's good and who's not. Like the Houston, bro,
Sure.
as much as
That's
we
what
hate
everybody's
them,
trying.
they have a great front office. Like they identify those guys.
Yes, but they also have the top 5
But
pick in
remember,
every draft for 10 years. So you
in
can
every
you're
draft,
taking you're
every
taking. Oh no, we didn't get the best 4 guys before that, but we've got Springer. We
what?
didn't draft
Why are the
Correa
Orioles
this
going to be
year.
so good in the next couple of years? Because Adley
Oh yeah,
Rushman was the top 5 pick.
perfect
Because
example.
who's it?
Yeah.
Who's the guy?
Perfect
Rodriguez.
example.
I forgot his name right now. He was a
Grayson
top 5.
Rodriguez, DL Hall, bro.
Grayson Rodriguez. That's why they're so good. That's why they're going to be so good in the next couple of years.
Mountcastle.
Same thing with Mount
What's his
Castle. Same
name?
thing with Houston.
Dude, they have so many guys.
Correa. Don't forget also. And here's another thing also. International players are no longer part of the
What's his name?
international pool. They have to be part of the draft now.
Yep.
Meaning you're not going to
Yeah.
find your Yordan Alvarez. You're not going to find your Jose Altuve's in an island somewhere. They don't exist anymore. They have to be put in the draft. So that's
Which is even harder for the Yankees.
Which is even harder.
Because that was what the
But
Yankees
all I'm
exceeded in.
saying, I agree with y'all, but all I'm saying is that aside from the 90s, when we hit on all these draft picks,
Because we
when's
sucked.
the last time they
Because
hit?
we sucked.
When's the last time they hit on a draft pick like they did in the 90s? You know what I'm saying? The last homegrown guy that they hit on in the draft was Judge. Like high caliber like that was Judge.
Okay.
They've teased us with a lot of prospects that were supposedly going to be great.
Perfect
Bro, how
example,
many
though.
do y'all remember that freaking kid that we got, the catcher that we traded for Pineda? Supposedly he was going to be the next freaking best catcher.
International free agent.
in
International
baseball.
free agent. That don't exist anymore.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? You know, how much hype did we get behind Miguel Andujar? How many guys have come up and gone that supposedly they were going to be really good? You know what I'm saying? So my point is,
But we don't have that because we're always
If you're
picking
going to
later
be
in the draft.
successful, you also need to keep your
Exactly.
homegrown guys. That's all I'm saying. You need to
No, but
hit on your
what you're
draft picks,
saying,
and you need to
I
keep
get what you're
those
saying.
guys.
Sorry.
You can't let
Yeah.
them walk. So that's why I feel like the
Okay,
Judge thing is also good, because
fine.
you're keeping your guy. You're
Fair
not letting
point.
him
I
walk
get
to
what you're
another
saying.
team.
Fair point, but let's go back to Houston because we like to prop up Houston a lot. Okay, your homegrown guys. What did you do with Bregman? 7 years, 100 million. Super
Yep.
fine. Jordan Alvarez,
Perfect
7
deal.
years, 125 million. Bargain.
Perfect deal.
Perfect deal. Before Altuve signed his monster deal, he had a very, very manageable arbitration contract to buy out his arbitration years. Super manageable. That now he's the only player that they have making more than $25 million a year. The only one.
Yep.
So
Mm-hmm.
you have if you don't lock up these guys, you're gonna get what happened with Judge.
Early. Yeah. No, I
Lock them
agree.
Yeah,
up.
they
But that's not how the
they gave
Yankees function. But
extensions
we
to the wrong
cannot.
guy.
I
You
agree.
but you cannot hope that the Yankees all of a sudden change their way of doing business. You have to be realistic to the way that they do things, and the way that they do things is not sustainable for long-term success.
Yeah, no, I get you, and I agree with you. They're not proactive, they're reactive. I understand that, and that's not sustainable. You're absolutely right. That's gonna bite them in the butt, if it hasn't already. But I mean, at the end of the day, at least they got the deal done, is what I'm saying. Too late, I agree, but it got done, which is what's important. You didn't lose him, you know.
I
Yeah, but
get that.
you keep saying it got done, but how again? Since you say you have faith that they're going to do more, or that
No,
you don't have
no,
faith,
no. I never said that.
no, that you
Don't
don't.
put
Sorry, that
words in
you
my
don't
mouth
have
on this
faith.
live.
Okay, so that
I
you don't have
said
faith. Okay, so if you don't
no.
have
I
faith, so
said
what?
that I maintain firm in what I said last night, that I don't have faith in this front
Okay,
office,
but if you don't have faith in the front office, why are you excited?
because, like
You
I
shouldn't be.
told you,
You shouldn't be
you're a
excited.
better team with Judge than you are without him. You would have
But
taken a step
what's better?
backward
You're still a team
without
that's going to
him.
get swept in the.
That's the thing, is that what's
You're,
better?
st-
You just
you're
spent
st-
so much money to do what? That's why we're like I said,
to
I'm
bring back the
excited
same team.
if they do more.
Yeah,
And to get back to your point about, Judge, whatever, and that whole thing, Judge is the only one in the last decade that where I know that in Severino, but Severino was international, but like that's because we always pick late in the draft. So we got lucky with one out of the 10, 11, 12 that we have taken in the late in the
one,
first round.
one.
Granted, Judge is 6'7", is a freaking monster. So it either was going to be terrible or it was going to really work out. And lucky for us, it really worked out, and he blossomed into what he's become. But every year, if you looked at all those years, those 10 years where we have late draft picks, the Orioles have had top draft picks. And look what they're finally doing 10 years later
And
with
the
all these
Jays.
picks. All
Look at the
these
Blue Jays.
kids are coming in. Blue Jays, too. Yeah, look. Another one. Blue Jays.
Yeah,
Blue
look at the
Jays
Blue Jays.
were awful for years. And look at that. Look every year what they've drafted. And now look at these kids. These kids are set there still for another 5, 6 years.
Their
And
windows are much larger than the Yankees. Their windows are
wait,
huge.
yeah.
They're
But
huge
you see,
windows.
I can counterpoint to y'all and say, look at the Pittsburgh Pirates. They've been awful since I was a kid. You know what I'm saying? And
Okay.
have they ever gotten better? No, because even though they pick at the top of the draft, they don't hit on their draft picks.
Well,
And
they
the
can't
ones that
keep.
they
They
do,
can't
Yeah,
keep
and
them.
the
well,
ones that they
they
do, and here's where my
definitely
point
hit.
comes full circle, they do not keep them.
They
They
can't.
do not
But
keep
they
them.
can't.
They
So
can't.
that's what I'm saying. So that's my point. You need to hit on your draft picks and you need to keep them.
But they're
Especially
a low
if
market
you're
team
They're a
who
low market team.
they develop a lot of superstars. There's so many stars who've come from Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
Our best pitcher is from Pittsburgh.
I
Yes.
know.
Like
I'm fully
but they
aware. I'm
no, I
fully
know, but they can't keep them because they're low market. They look at the contracts they have. They
Look at the
can't give anyone more
Royals.
than $4 million.
Look at the Royals. They had a 2-year
Royals,
window.
exactly.
They had a 2-year
I
window.
know
They were
that.
horrible for almost
They
2
sucked for
decades.
10 years just to
Yes.
get
But
2 years.
But
That's what they're
listen,
about.
that's beside. I get it, and I get that they're a low market team, just like Miami, just like
Look
Baltimore,
at
and a lot of
Oakland
these
last
low
year,
market. Yeah,
2
and
years ago.
Oakland. I get it, but at the end of the day, I'm not saying why they don't keep them. I'm just going full circle in my point that you guys are bringing up Baltimore and you're bringing up Toronto. But
Okay.
again, that's because they sucked and they hit on their draft picks and they've kept them. and they've
Mhm.
brought them up at the right time.
Well, Toronto
Pittsburgh,
has
on the other
Toronto
hand,
has
and I
definitely
could
spent
bring up
money
like
too.
other teams that they haven't hit on their picks, or they haven't kept them, or they've mismanaged them. And not for nothing, you bring up Garrett Cole. Garrett Cole wasn't who he was. He wasn't who he is now, or who he was with Houston when he was with Pittsburgh. He showed flashes, but he wasn't that guy yet.
But the
Well, he
Yankees
had
wanted him
great years, and he was
even
second.
before he was with Pittsburgh.
Exactly.
The Yankees wanted him. The Yankees
Exactly.
wanted him. They knew what
The,
they had
the
there.
No,
Yankees drafted
I
him the
know,
The
first
because
Yankees
he
time.
showed
drafted him.
flashes, but he wasn't that guy yet. He
Well,
But
wasn't.
he
they
won.
knew
He was second.
they
He
knew
was
what he was.
second in Cy Young in 2013, and I think fifth in Cy Young the year before he left for
There's no
Houston. He
flashes there.
was
He was
there.
good. He was
And granted,
already there.
Houston knew the spider tech and all that, and how to make him great.
Mm-hmm,
Sure,
mm-hmm.
but you know, that was another one where the Yankees missed for so long until they had to spend everything they had
That's
to
the
go
thing.
get him.
You could have
And
had him
that's
before.
which that's what we're seeing now. The Yankees missed
I
out
agree.
on their own opportunities, and this is where we are. Yes, like I said, I am happy that Judge is back. It's just the deal is great for now. You built yourself a 3-year window, because in 3 years from now, if you haven't won, then that contract's a failure, because it's going to seem his prime is going to be heading out the door, if not already, if by that point.
Yeah.
And
Don't forget
then
also,
you're
man.
stuck with him for 6 years
He
for
started at
40 a
26,
year.
man. He started at
Yeah,
26. He didn't
you're
start
talking
at
about
18 years
six
old.
more years of Judge. Let's just say in 3 years from now, 6 more years of Judge, 2 more years of Cole, or I think 2 more or 3 more years of Cole,
3 more
two
years
more
ago.
years of Stanton.
Yeah,
You have all that past their primes.
past their
So
primes.
that's
Way past
why
their primes.
we're saying Judge is great. Love Judge. Love the Judge contract. But if you don't build this team to be World Series now and build yourself, so even if you don't win the World Series now and you built the team to beat Houston, and somehow you just can't get past them again this year, or you do pass them but you lose in the World Series, you get 2 more years we got to fix this. Because if you're just going to slide and let this year run by you with exactly how I felt this morning.
Sorry.
But if if you let this year slide with the Josh Donaldsons and the IKFs and the Aaron Hicks of the world still on your team, that you just lost the window, and you
Hmm.
I
only got
agree.
2 more left after that. So I'll be happy about Judge when I see more, when I see the superstars there with him, when Hicks is sent to the moon for a vending machine, when Donaldson is traded for 95% of the contract just to get him off the team, when
When
IKF
IKF
is
is
a
traded
bench
for
player.
40. I know.
Well,
I
I
get.
at this point, I just don't see, unless they trade Glaber, I don't see IKF going anywhere, because Glaber should be gone too, and we've talked about that forever. And I know a lot of Yankee fans on here listening love Glaber, and I love Glaber too, but the team is not working with the team we have now, and you need to shake things up. And if you're going with these 3 kids who are going to be here full time by June, or really May, then you got to let those 3 kids play the middle infield. Yeah, Oswaldo you could put anywhere, but Oswaldo isn't. I look at Oswaldo as Marwin, where he's great, but I don't expect him to be a full time starter all the time. I expect him to be playing and
Right.
starting 5 out of 7 games, but in so many different positions where he can be a great bat. But I don't rely on him to be the piece to be like, oh, thank God we have him in the lineup. It's gonna be all right. Hey, he's got that 7, 8, or 9 spot in the lineup. I like that. He's switch hitter. He's like Marwin. He's 10 years younger than Marwin. I like that for the next 6, 7 years. It's great, but I'm not relying on him like the Yankees are with Volpe and Peraza. With Peraza, it depends on if they're going to trade him or not. But Volpe is supposed to be the next greatest thing in baseball.
Oh,
To be,
bro.
if you're not trading him for Soto's and of the world and Otani's of the world, then he better be
No,
the this. He
Day
better
one.
be better than Jeter. That's for
Day
sure.
one.
yep,
Because
yep.
that's a whole nother conversation that we're going to have later down the road. But that's what it is. And the Yankees have this identity crisis where they don't know whether they want to develop, and then they say they do, because so then they go all in on a couple years of that, and then they realize, wait, we're still supposed to be a above 500 team for those 2012 all the way to 2016 years. Okay, so let's go. And even 2017, no one expected the Yankees to be good in 2017 like that. All right, so then we'll get the B level talent. So all those years of just, like I said, pussyfooting around with the this or that sort of thing gets us. Who's our best draft pick from 2012 to 2017? Who was it?
That's what I'm saying.
Wasted years, wasted
It's what I'm
drafts.
saying. That's what I was saying earlier.
Judge was 2013, which was thank God. You
That's what
know,
I was saying earlier.
But
yeah. So,
that's
but
exactly
that's why we're
how
talking
picky
about
in
the
the later part of the
Astros.
draft is. That's how exactly how it is.
Exactly.
That's exactly how it
That's
is. There's nothing guaranteed after pick
exactly.
11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Everything after that is pretty much all bundled together because
Yeah,
you don't know.
because that's what makes
By
teams
the way,
decide: are we contending or are we not?
by
Because
the way,
you
guys,
want the
unrelated.
top 14 pick. Sorry, what?
By the way, unrelated, but I just saw news come in that the Mets got Jose Quintana to pair up with Justin Verlander. So those are their two moves so far.
Not bad.
Hey, you know
He
what?
had a good year.
That
He had a
probably
very good
takes
year.
them out of the Chris Bassett conversation, but
Yeah, he had
you
a very
know,
good year.
yeah, he had a good year. I'm pretty surprised because he was. I was so glad the Yankees never touched him in the trade deadline. I did not want him
No, I mean,
because he he was he was such a last second addition to the Pirates the year before, and
Yeah,
it seemed like his career was on the way out. And yeah, he had a great season, whatever. I just don't expect it to
oh,
necessarily
and there's
last.
another one that came in. A guy that we talked about in the previous episode that I would have liked on the bullpen, Kenley Jansen. He just agreed on a deal with the Boston Red Sox.
Wow. Hey, they got their closer finally.
yeah.
I'm not
Again,
upset by it. I've seen Kenley get hit around so many times in LA. I think we do the same.
yeah.
That
I don't
dude
think that's
The
a
gets
big deal.
moves are
rattled
coming
so
in.
easily.
I don't think
Just
that's a big
waiting
deal at
for
all.
one of them to say the New York Yankees have acquired. You know, that's what I'm waiting for. But
Great pivot for the Red Sox. Good for them. Happy for
Yeah,
him. Seeing the
much
one
more,
guy who
much
wants to
more
play for
expensive
them.
than much more expensive.
Good. They spent 16 million on a dude that they're gonna hate with a 4 ERA by July.
Correct.
Love that for them. This team is really pushing forward. Good for them.
That's Dombrowski for you.
He exactly. Dombrowski set them in that hole. So
Yep.
Shane Bloom is doing everything he can to fix it, but they're so far away from contending for a World
Hmm.
Series because of how much Dombrowski. And you're gonna see the Phillies in that hole in about 5 years from now.
They got a
The
5 year
Phillies are
window.
the
all win now, but in 5 years, oh my God, they're gonna be in a 10-year rut of just awful, with all the
Hmm.
contracts that they're gonna be sitting with, all that dead money that they're gonna try to get rid of. Oh my God, look at
Hmm.
all those deals. That's what we were saying yesterday. Like, it's great what the Phillies are doing now. Same thing with the Padres going after Judge for 10 years, 400 million, trying to get Turner for 11, 340. Like that's great, but you're gonna be swamped with 10 years of just absolute shit and dog water because you're
Hmm.
just gonna be stuck in it. And all that dead money, if all those guys past their prime, and even if you get to trade them, you're still gonna be stuck with all that money most likely. It's tough. But that's it's tough to you have to decide whether you're going to do that and be Dombrowski or you're going to be like the Rays or a Billy Bean in the Athletics. You have to make that decision. You can't say I'm going to be Dombrowski.
Damn, we lost him. Oh, you're back.
Oh,
You're back.
oh,
yeah,
I'm back.
you
You're
there,
back.
bro? We lost you.
Damn, I made a great point. God damn, that sucks.
Well, the funny thing is, it's kind of like what I was telling you, Sean, and what I said yesterday is that now that Judge is signed, and
Hmm.
now that we have Garrett Cole for another 6 years, and we still have Giancarlo Stanton for another 5,
Yeah.
the Yankees are going to be in the same position as the Phillies and as the Detroit of yesteryear, and and the Red Sox and all that stuff. We're going to be in the same exact spot with 3 washed up players still being owed hundreds of millions of dollars. We're going to be in the same position. That's why I tell you, you need to have some of these kids become monsters.
Yeah.
You need to have
Huh?
Volpe become a monster. You need to have Jason Dominguez become a monster because they have to pick up the slack for a shitty Judge, for a shitty Giancarlo, and for a shitty Cole. You need to pick up some. They need these players to pick up that slack because they're gonna suck so much ass
Well,
at the
that's
back end
where
of
the
their
conversation.
contract.
That's where the conversation goes full circle, where you hope that these kids are as good as the Yankees say they are, and you hope that these kids are the exception to what we talked about, where they've struggled with their developmental side of their organization, where they haven't drafted well, they haven't signed international free agents well. You know, they've
Mm.
sucked since the 90s at both aspects of that game. So you hope that with Dominguez and with Volpe, they're the two exceptions and that they are as good as advertised, but we won't know yet. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the thing is that now by giving these guys those deals, you're not just hoping anymore. You
Banking on.
need
Yeah.
them. You're banking on it because again, the 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 window is so small right now. We have a 3-year window
And we just came
to
from
win
a
a World
5 year
Series,
window with the baby bombers.
and we just came from a 5-year window. Exactly, we came
And we did
from a 5-year
nothing.
window,
We still were
and we did
pussyfooting around.
absolute.
And that's
Yeah,
what
we
we're
did
saying.
absolute
And
shit.
that's the point I was trying to make. I didn't mean to cut you off, Alex. That's the point
No, you're right. No,
that I
you're
was
right.
trying to say before. I don't know if I got cut off. You got to decide whether you're going to be Dombrowski or you're going to be Billy Bean. And for the last decade, we've been playing both. All right, let's get that top guy, but I also want to develop these B level prospects. And so that wins you nothing. No team's ever won that way. No team will ever win that way because it
Yeah.
doesn't work. The
Right.
teams that win, the Cubs and the Guardians who made the World Series, the Royals who went to the World Series twice, they are garbage forever until they build their window just enough to have that little run. And then it's all right, back to being trash, but let's redevelop. And then you have other teams who suck for even longer to get themselves a bigger window. And then, yeah, you got the Pirates of the world who, the Pirates, if you're a Pirates fan, man, I wish you the best because you guys develop great players all the time, but it's just always at a time where there's not enough. And even
Yes,
the Pirates have had their
they're the
windows.
modern day
You know,
Montreal
the
Expos.
2013 through 2015, they had that little small window. They just weren't good enough.
Right.
But
Yeah, they
they've
were going to the
developed
playoffs.
great
Right.
players. But they just can't develop enough great players at the same time. There's always every year there's always someone on the Pirates that's great. You know, Brian Reynolds is one of the best center fielders in baseball.
Hmm.
And every year is the year before that Key Brian Hayes, and now they have O'Neill Cruz. Like they have great guys. It's just not enough to be anything more than those three guys. Look at the rest of the team. The team is trash. Like there's nobody there that you go, oh man, like because they don't develop a team like that. They develop 3 to 4 guys and then they're trading, and then they don't. Especially how they trade. Their GMs have been terrible. Look at what the Rays have done to them. They just, there's so many trades that they make that they always come out on the losing end on because they don't see the return value that they should get. I don't know why,
I
but
don't see it.
that the Pirates have shot themselves in the foot so many times to trade away all those prospects to try to win a year by taking on Chris Archer. You set yourself back 5 years just on that one move alone.
Well,
You
you
went the
lost Tyler
exact
Glass
opposite
now
route of what you always
and
do.
Meadows, right?
That's what the
And then
Pirates always do. They're always trading their superstar to get all that caliber back. But now you built all that caliber to trade it for Chris Archer. You set
right.
yourself up back. You set yourself back 5 years for that, and
Hmm.
so that's what kills the Pirates. And then the Yankees do the same. The Yankees kill themselves by doing this back and forth thing. That's why we're saying you got to stop the back and forth and decide. Are now you just signed Judge, so now there's no deciding anymore. All right, we're back to we got to go back to the George days, and I hate saying the George days, but you got to say, all right, we got to buy ourselves a championship because if the Yankees just win one in the 9 years that Judge is here, then that contract's a win. But if the Yankees don't win in the next 3, which is probably their biggest window until they can build another one, then that whole 360 million out the door for nothing.
Yep.
Yep.
And we just watched $3 billion of Hal's money go out the window for the last decade with the analytics and the cheap buying and all that. They just did the numbers. Since 2009, over $3 billion have been spent by Hal, and it's all been for nothing. What has it gotten us?
Well,
To heartbreak every October.
think about this. In 2009, we gave Sabathia a 9-year deal. I think, if I'm not
Yep.
mistaken.
I was
We
just gonna
gave
bring this up. Thank you.
we gave Teixeira like a 7-8 year deal. We
Yep.
gave Burnett like a 5-year deal. Okay, so we
And we
we
had
gave
A-Rod's
those,
contract.
and then A Rod's contract right when the Red Sox were beating Colorado in the
Yep.
in the World Series. That's
Yep.
that's what you did there. Was it worth it? Yes, you won the World Series in 2009, so yes, you can say it was worth it.
Yep.
You can't say it was worth it after that because again, the window was this big to get it done.
Yep.
It was this big and they got it done. That's the thing. So we go back to that. You just spent on Judge. Guess what? You got to spend on somebody else and another person
Mm-hmm.
to build this team because your window is this big again. It's tiny. It's a tiny, tiny window. Whether you want to agree with it or not, that's up. It's a tiny window to win a World Series right now. with
Yep.
Judge in his prime, like you say, because
Exactly.
you gave him 360 million for 3 years, not
For
9,
three,
for 3 years,
maybe 4 years of his
maybe 4 if you're lucky.
prime.
If you're lucky, you give for 4. You gave him a
That's why we're
360
saying.
million dollars for 3
I
years.
know we keep saying the same point, but that's exactly why we're saying there's got to be so much more here for us to
Yes.
be excited. Because if you don't do anything, you're just wasting Judge's years. You're wasting our years, and then
Yep.
that prime window goes right out the door. If you don't build the super team now, then you just wasted one of the Judge years and one of Judge's prime years. Like he's 31 years old. By
Yeah.
34, you're not the same as you were at
You're not the same.
31.
You're not the
So
same.
you can't let all that go. You can't let this season go now. The
Yeah.
Astros are looking at this deal right now and Judge and go, all right,
All right.
go get
They don't
Contreras.
care. We already
Yeah,
beat this team with him, so who cares? No,
exactly.
nobody in baseball right now is like, oh
No,
shit, look at the Yankees. Nobody's like that right now. The only way
they just brought
that
back their
happens,
star.
yeah, you just brought back who you had last year. That's all you did. There's nothing more than that. So now it's what else do you bring in? Like, you have to build a super team right now because again, you cannot keep wasting away Judge's prime years. Again, the homie started at 26. He did not start at 21. So that's that's really where it's at. This window is so small, and that's why right now is the time to do it. And again, with what
Exactly.
Houston has done, you got to get what they've done, put it on a wall, and match it. You have to match it. Figure it
Mm-hmm.
out. How will you match it? I don't know. You got to match it because that's
Look at
the
that
only way you're
lineup
gonna do
and
it.
match it. That's what
Look
you
at
got
that
to
lineup and
tell
match it.
yourself.
Look at that pitching rotation and match it. I actually
And
did
that's
their
what the
pitching.
Yankees are trying to do with Rodon. If you get Rodon, then you match their pitching rotation. I think
Kind of, yeah.
you
Kind
got
of.
5 starters. You got 5 high quality starters. They have 5 high quality
What I'm
starters.
saying. It's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. You get
Okay, but you
Rodon.
still got to build the lineup.
You still
And
got to build a lineup.
that's the biggest part. Because Benintendi and Judge aren't cutting it.
Nope.
Because that's the same team as last year. Yes, we didn't have Benintendi and DJ, which is another conversation with DJ.
Yeah,
Do you
great.
have DJ at 100%?
We can't say that with Benintendi we weren't good because remember he missed a lot of time with
But
the
do you
injury.
think? Okay, do you think
Yeah,
with
but
DJ and
do you really
Benintendi you're
think it would
winning
have
that
made a
series?
difference in the playoffs? I didn't. Instead of a sweep, it's probably a 5 game.
Yeah, I think he would have made a difference in the playoffs.
Nah.
Absolutely.
They got
Healthy.
dominated.
What do you think the series would have been with DJ, Ron Marinaccio, and Benintendi on
Yeah.
that team?
Healthy, all completely healthy.
Yeah, completely healthy. What do you think?
It ain't going to 7, so don't even think about 7. It's not going to 7.
I mean,
But at the end of the day, do you think the Yankees are winning the series?
No.
no. But
So the conversation
but you
doesn't matter.
wouldn't have gotten swept. It would have been closer
But
than.
still an
You're
L.
still going home. You're still going home.
No, I
You know,
agree
like-
with you. I agree.
You're still going
But
home.
you would have been, but you would have played better with those guys.
But you're still
Okay,
going
but,
home.
but you're still going home.
You're
So
still
that's what I'm
going
saying.
home.
Like,
It
if
doesn't
you
matter.
get Judge and Benintendi, even if you go with Benintendi, and even if you go and fill up the bench with other players, you obviously Hicks gets traded because I feel like that's inevitable. You still have so much more to do, and that's why you
remember,
can't
don't
waste
forget
this
the
year on that.
And don't forget the injuries that you had to your pitching rotation and your bullpen, bro. That makes a difference. That's why I think adding a Rodon helps and solidifying that rotation helps because it puts less strain on that bullpen, especially
I
if
get that.
everybody
But you're
in that
still going
rotation
home. Is it,
performs
Enrique?
up
That's
to
the whole
par.
point. You're still
Think
going
about
home.
it. Think about it. You got a Garrett Cole, a Rodon, a
Uh-huh.
Nestor, Montas. If he rounds back to
And
what
Severino.
And
Will
Severino.
Perino. That's what I'm saying. But
Okay, yeah.
Montas first because
You're only going to use 4 of those guys in the series.
you have the impression that he's going to be good, that he's
Yeah.
gonna that this last year was an aberration because he was hurt.
Sure.
If he's what you're expecting him to be, I'm expecting him to be better than Severino.
Okay, yeah, but at the same token, we lost a game last year in the playoffs off one swing from Bregman.
One
swing.
One bad pitch by Severino.
Yeah, I agree.
It was one bad pitch and that game was over.
That's it.
Yeah.
How many? And you felt that the whole series.
Yeah.
One bad pitch, it's over.
Yep.
They get 3 runs, it's over. They get 2
Yep.
runs, we're in trouble.
Because the hitting was crap. I agree.
Okay,
That's why I tell you
even if you add
the
DJ
pitching
and
was never much of an
Benintendi,
issue.
what do you? Let's just say DJ and Benny give us a run each per game. That's still we losing 5.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Like yeah, it's much better. But also, even if you get Benintendi back, injuries will happen. You need to build and you need to overbuild so that in case guys go down, all right, we got this guy, next man up. This person's gonna be fine. Because if you just get Benintendi and Judge, and maybe obviously whatever you fill in your bench, but let's say Benintendi goes down again. We're two straight postseasons without DJ LeMahieu. No one expected that.
Yeah.
But you never know what's going to happen. We lose Stanton because Stanton can't stay on the field for some reason. It's just going to happen. Just one of those guys that we have right now are going to go down. It's inevitable every season with us. It happens, and it's unfortunate. And even if you're talking about the injuries with the bullpen and stuff, that's going to happen again. One of the
Mm-hmm.
five starters we have are not going to be starters either way with the playoffs, and one of them's going to go down. It's just inevitable. No team makes it five. All five starters go 33 starts. It just doesn't happen. So it's just what you have to prepare for. You need to get overabundance of these guys and superstars or stars or great players, so that in case 6 months of the season go out out the door, or you know through the wayside, you could, and if they're not back by October, you need to be ready to develop someone to beat Houston, because this lineup's not beating Houston.
Well, speaking of the lineup, let me ask y'all because we have a question here.
Exactly. Bring
Matthew
it up.
Rose asking if we're gonna if
What's
if
up,
we
Maddie?
yeah, he should go after Correa. What's up, Matt? So I mean, I guess I'll take a stab at it first.
Sure.
I think after after giving Judge 40 mil a year, bro, I don't think they're gonna go after somebody that's gonna command as much money as Correa, especially when, like we said earlier, Matt, you weren't watching the live at that point, but there we were talking about Volpe and how they're feeding us this whole thing about him being the next coming of like God supposedly at shortstop. So I mean, if he's that good, then he's gonna be your shortstop later on this year. Sean figures maybe in May. You know what I'm saying? Maybe May or June. So I mean, if you're gonna bank on this kid, then why the hell would you sign a Carlos Correa? You're blocking him from playing, and you're not gonna bring him up if he's not gonna play.
Yeah, but and see, okay, so with Correa, that is my problem already. You say, well, I don't know if the Yankees are going to do it because that's a lot of money. They just put in Judge 40 million. Already, we're back to that conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Already about I don't know if Hal's going to go there. I don't know if Hal can do more than Judge. That's what upsets me. Yeah, of course, the Yankees should go after Correa and another, because that's what the Yankees should do,
But then what
being
about
the
Volpe?
juggernaut team. Yeah, but Volpe you could put at second base. You could figure that if Volpe's got can play the arm of second or third, it doesn't matter. So, you could trade Glaber away and have Oswaldo playing second, or Oswald playing second. You could trade both those guys and keep Volpe and build something and get something like Correa. There's so much that you could do. You could go after Correa and trade Peraza and Will Warren and Trey Sweeney for Brian Reynolds. Boom, two superstars on the team. Along with, like, there's so much that you could do. And then you could have Volpe come up in June, and all of a sudden he's just starting second baseman. You could trade Gleyber Torres for either a high end reliever or a Pablo Lopez of the world. There's so much more you could still do. Send Hicks for, like I said, a bag of balls. It doesn't matter. There's so much that you could still do. It's just, now, will the Yankees do it? And this is exactly the conversation we were having yesterday. So yes, to answer that, I think the Yankees can go after Correa. Should they? Yes, but will they? Probably not. And because I think I think they really depend on these kids, which is whatever. But I think their priority now is hopefully Rodon and left field, because they desperately need a left fielder. And
Yeah.
if they fail on getting a left fielder, if they fail on Benintendi, which is probably Rodon and Benintendi are probably the people they're talking to currently at this very moment. If they miss out on Benintendi, you have to go get Reynolds, because there's nobody else in free agency that you're looking at going, okay, I'll take him instead of Benintendi. Unless you want Joey Gallo back, then good luck to you, because Joey Gallo's out there. Go get Gary Sanchez too while you're out there. That's that's the thing, and you
Run it back.
can't you
Run it back.
can't have that.
Run
Yeah,
it back,
exactly.
but why
Run it
not? Why
back.
not?
What do you think, Alex?
I don't think Correa's in the works. As much as I would love it, I think it's an
Yeah.
impact player. I just don't think it's there. Again,
Exactly.
for Benintendi, again, I'm not excited for it. If that's what happens, basically, if it kind of feels like you'd be signing him just to keep him away from Houston for whatever reason.
Hmm.
So I just whatever. Again, Brian Reynolds is my guy. That's the one who I want, and I think it's the right move to do because you have to because it's kind of what we say. If you hang on to these prospects for too long, they lose value, and you won't be able to do it. The window's right now, and he's signed through 2025 or 2026. He's under
Hmm.
control, and he's a
Let me
bargain.
ask y'all. Let me ask both of y'all a question about Ryan Reynolds. Say the Yankees do trade for him, right?
Hmm.
It's a silly question, but whatever. I'm curious about this. Isn't he a center fielder?
He's an
No, and
outfielder.
center fielders can
He
play
can
any
play anywhere.
position. It's easier to even
I was
play the
gonna say
corners than
because
center
then you'd
field.
have a situation where you got him and Bader, who are
Yeah, but
both
Bader's only here for a year.
Yeah,
fielders.
but Bader's only signed your deal.
This is
And he's
it.
a free
Bader's a
agent
free
too.
agent
So
next year.
so
You
he's a
don't
free
think they're
agent
gonna
next year.
keep him?
Who
No,
cares?
they can. If they don't if
I
they
don't
don't
care.
get if they don't get
Bro, if
Reynolds.
he's that good of a
Who
defensive
cares?
center fielder, you keep him.
Yeah, but
Y'all,
Reynolds is
y'all
also a
hyped
What?
great
him.
center
Y'all
fielder.
hyped him
Who
up
cares?
last year. One of the
No,
episodes
I
we
know.
got.
He's the
I'm
best
saying
defensive center
if
fielder in the game, probably. But if he's a free agent and he's out of your price range, fuck him. Leave him. Let him go.
exactly. If you have someone
Yeah,
like Reynolds already there on the team, then whatever.
yeah.
But if you don't
Whatever.
get
Who
someone
cares?
like Reynolds, then yeah, you want Bader back, of course. And Bader
Sure.
was a fan favorite or the second he showed up. He has his little Statue of Liberty glove, which is great. But
Yeah.
like this is exactly the same conversation is that fans grow too quickly
Too
with
quickly.
players instead of looking at the team and
Yeah.
saying, okay, if we had someone like Brian Reynolds, okay, well, it looks like Bader could be out of our price range. Do we settle? All right, do we go all in on getting Bader back because we love him, or is he financially acceptable? And I'm not. Reynolds is a long way away. I doubt the Pirates even decide to trade him
Well,
because
see, I
they're
wasn't even
they.
talking about Reynolds as far as and Bader as far as like him taking Bader out of our price range. I just meant overall, like where would both of them fit together in the outfield? Like where would each of them
He
play?
fits
Like
fine right now.
Yeah,
you're not
and
taking
Bader's
Bader out
Bader's
of center
played.
field. Like Reynolds would be your left fielder at that point. No,
Yeah,
Yeah, but
that's fine.
Reynolds can play. Well, he can be. It's fine. Reynolds plays the outfield too. He's played left. He played left every year. I'm looking at his stuff right now.
Yeah.
He played center and left last year along with DH, which everyone plays DH. So you can he can play left field, which is fine by me. And his position is just straight up outfielder. That's what he is. Bader would probably stay in center because he's got more speed, and you have him for this year, so you might as well make him your center fielder. But Reynolds can play left,
Yeah.
and right there you just solved a huge problem, And Reynolds, remember the once when Reynolds came to Yankee Stadium, how much he dominated us. He dominated us.
Mm-hmm.
He was the reason why they almost won that series. Thank God for the Stanton and Judge home runs
Yep.
because he killed us.
Yeah.
He's a fantastic player, and I am surprised that the Pirates aren't even like listening to people because if he doesn't want to be part of the team and you have a 3 year window of him in 2025 until he's a free or 2026 until he's a free agent, I don't know, man. I would trade him as soon as possible for the best possible package.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. That's another reason why we just talked about the Pirates do what the Pirates do, and they constantly keep making mistakes. So it is what it is. I'm not saying Reynolds will be a Yankee. I would love that to be the case. You have Jason Dominguez out there and stuff like that too. But it's if you're building your 3 year window now, Dominguez is not going to be part of it until midway through that 3 year window. Dominguez probably won't be called up until late next year or the year after. So you're talking
Right.
about 2 years away minimum, really, for Dominguez. And so if you're trying to build your little window right now of 3 years, it's tough if you're gonna rely on the kids or hope that the kids come up and change that because a 21-year-old Dominguez with a 34-year-old Judge, it doesn't add up to me, and so that's the big thing you got to ask yourself. So we'll see. Oh, I didn't even see this. Matt Rosen just said, "Oh, he's actually saying something about Dominguez." What did he say? I think, yeah. Oh, they definitely will.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they will.
Volpe and
yeah,
Dominguez will
yeah, they'll
most
get
definitely.
looks.
Oh
They'll get
yeah,
looks for sure.
Volpe especially. Volpe probably play every day in spring training or every other because I know they like to keep everyone healthy. But you'll see Volpe all the time in spring training. Dominguez will definitely get a lot of playing time too. He'll probably be with that taxi squad that goes all around Tampa and gets a lot of playing time. But you'll definitely see both of those guys in spring training. You'll definitely see both of those guys. You'll see a lot of guys out there. Peraza too will get a lot of playing time. Cabrera, even though they played, at the end of the year's Yankees, you'll see a lot of guys if they're still Yankees, of course.
Hey, Sean, maybe we should set up something where the three of us do a live from spring training, bro. Maybe you should
Oh,
make your way
I'm
down to
going to
Tampa,
spring
bro.
training this year. Oh, I will be. I'll be there. I'll
There
definitely be
you
there.
go.
So,
Alex, so ya tú sabes, me and you, bro, we make the drive up, whatever.
Same day. So maybe I'll be going. I'll be go during the day. I'll come back at night because I got stuff. I got kids.
Bro,
man.
that's fine.
Busy
That's
that day.
fine. No, that's fine, bro. We head up. We head up for a day. Meet with Sean. Do a live from spring training. That'd be cool as hell for the hot Esquina. Maybe
Yes,
see
sir.
some players. Maybe tell a few players about us. Hey, bro, never know.
Yes, definitely. But yeah,
That'd
man,
be a fun time.
that's definitely now we just have to wait and see. Now we wait to see if we know what the Yankees do. Jack Curry just said, "Now hold on. Now the judge has been secured. What's next for the Yankees? They have definite interest in Rodon. They feel that Rodon has to medal to succeed in New
medal.
York. A tough, talented lefty. Yeah. Sorry, I'm reading that wrong. A tough, talented lefty in Yankees team would be a nice fit. Yeah, absolutely. And you need another lefty. That's why Pablo Lopez was in the conversation. At the trade deadline because you need a second lefty because Rodon is a lefty. Yeah.
No, but
No,
Lopez
but
is.
he's saying Lopez.
Oh no. Well,
Lopez
Pablo
is a
Lopez.
righty.
Is he really?
He's a right. Yeah.
Oh no, you're messing me up.
I saw
I guess I'm.
him pitch live twice this year, bro.
Oh, because I'm thinking of back. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because I think of him when he used to bat back in 2 years ago. He was a lefty batter.
Oh, yeah, he hits lefty. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, so I'm always thinking of him like it's weird when you see a lefty batter with a right person throwing righty. Yeah. So, but yeah, you gotta go with. I think a lefty here because you as much as Enrique and 99% of Yankee fans love, Nestor Cortez, you cannot go into any season at 100% certainty that he will be a mid twos or young
absolutely
or
not.
early threes in ERA.
I mean, you
don't
know, bro. But why
That's
not?
exactly. That's
Why
what I'm
not?
saying. You can't be guaranteed. There's no guarantee that he's
But
going to do
why
it.
not be optimistic that he can be, bro? Like he
You
showed
can't.
you,
You can't rely on optimism.
How
You
much
have to
more?
have.
Let me ask
You
both of
have
y'all
to.
this. How much more does Nestor have to do to prove to both of y'all that he's legit? That this was
No, he is.
what
Hey,
he's
I'm not saying
that what
he's
he
not
did was
legit.
no fluke. That he
He's
is
a
what
fine
he
pitcher.
is. Like what
He's
more
a
does he
fine
have
pitcher.
to do?
He's not top of the rotation material. He's a fine pitcher. He's had some good seasons. Now
he's shown you he's good enough to be a number two.
So
I don't know.
I don't know about that. It's a year and a half of
people will
work.
get used to
Bro,
him.
he was an all-star, dog. Oh yeah, put some
wait.
respect
Big
on his name, dog.
He had a good year.
Big conversation I'm about to have right now. And that is when you are just coming up. When Nestor was just taking the reins. Like, yeah, the year before he was coming out of relief, getting some starts. People were, shocked by the world. And then this past year he was a starter full time. People were like, what is this? It's a very different thing from guys throwing 98 and 99 all the time. He's throwing backdoor cutters and nice sliders. It's different, especially his his delivery. It's different, something to get used to.
Yeah,
but teams were starting to get
I
used to it a
said
little
it
bit
in a
toward the end.
previous episode. He's a throwback, like he's a throwback to the days of Greg Maddux. Like he's a Greg Maddux type of pitcher. That's what he is.
But now you're getting a full season, under your belt of that. And teams now have seen everything you've thrown now. Full time for a whole season. So that's why you can't, as a Yankee fan or in the Yankee, front office, you can't bank that that's happening 2.5 again, 2.50 ERA or whatever he had.
I mean, bro, if he can keep having the control of the plate that he had, I don't see why not. You know what I'm saying? Guys like that's what made Maddux so dominant. And I said it in a past episode. I'm not here saying Nestor Cortez Jr. is Greg Maddux. Nobody will ever be Greg
I
Maddux.
get
I
that.
get it. But at the end of the day, what made Greg Maddux so dominant was that even though you knew what he was throwing, you knew what he had, you knew what pitches he threw,
Okay.
he pinpointed them so well. His location, his accuracy was so good that even though you knew what was coming, you couldn't hit it. And if you did hit it, it was weak contact. That is
Okay.
Nestor. That is
To
Nestor. That
rebuttal that
even when you hit
same
his
thing.
stuff, it's weak. So
Mm-hmm.
if he can keep that location and that pinpoint accuracy,
Mm-hmm.
even if people figure him out, they're still not going to hit it
There,
hard off him because
but
he's
you're
locating
saying
it
the word
well.
if a lot. You're saying the word if a lot.
That's what
If.
we're saying. You
Yeah,
can't
there's a lot
guarantee
of
that
But
ifs in
that's
his
what I'm
there's a lot of
saying. But
ifs in his
he's
game.
giving you no reason not to be optimistic that he can. That's all I'm
But
Again,
saying.
you just mentioned one player right there, right? You
yeah,
know
one.
how many players Greg Maddux people are influenced by him? You know how many people tried that? You know how many people have failed? You know how many people have had one good year?
Yeah,
You know how many
I
people have
know.
had 2 to 3 good
one good
years?
year.
And then all of a sudden they're nobodies? You know, so you can't bank on Nestor is guaranteed for a 3 ERA next year. I think he can be, absolutely. I'm not saying he
Yeah,
can't be. You can't bank on it in the Yankee organization. You can't go roll out there with him as your only lefty and be like, don't worry, he's sub 3. No problem. You can't have it. So
yeah,
you have to build another lefty who you believe can be, or at least have 2 guys in the low 3s to high 2s as a lefty. And then you have Cole and you have Severino and you pray Montas can get his shit together
yeah.
because
And
then
Hopefully,
you
bro.
have
don't
5
forget
studs.
also now with the shift being gone, that
Yep.
weak contact might actually
Oh,
get
yeah.
through. That weak contact might get
Oh,
through.
yeah.
I think
Oh, that's
he is,
actually a good point. I
no,
didn't think of that.
he
Kudos to
is the
you,
one
Alex.
that
That's a
worries.
very good point by you,
He's the
bro.
one that worries me the most
Good
out of
point.
all the, because right now with this new change in the rules, the pitchers that are at a premium are strikeout pitchers. The ones who don't
Yep.
cause contact, because weak
Who rely on
contact now
contact? Yep.
will get through. Weak
Yep.
contact will get through now. So
Well,
again,
now there's a premium on not only those pitchers that you're talking about, but on prime defensive players. Like now, our defense better be
sure.
better than ever.
No, you
You
need
know.
Yep.
athletes. You need athletes at every position now. So that's why I feel it's the perfect time to trade Gleyber Torres, because Gleyber Torres
Yep.
is not an athlete in my opinion. He's a good
Who would you
player.
rather have at second, Glaber or DJ?
DJ.
DJ,
Exactly.
Length.
100%,
So
100%.
You need length. The length at
Yep.
second base will be super
I
important.
said it in a previous episode, bro. He's a Gold Glover there. I mean, it's no comparison.
Yeah.
Obviously, he can play anywhere else. I get it, but where he's best at is second base. I'd rather have DJ over a lot of people at second base, to be honest with you.
Look,
and it's hard to
There's
have a middle infielder only play one position and
right. No, for
keep him
sure.
there.
And here's the thing. Here's the thing. Also, when it comes to Cortez, especially Cortez, again, I go back to Cortez because of the fact that he has very hittable pitches, even though it's weak contact.
Oh, yeah.
They're very hittable. I go back to the fact that if he does not get the first out of an inning, he's in trouble. He's in big trouble, because now you're talking about the first baseman having to hold the runner at first. The hole just got a lot bigger. So again, he is just one of these guys that makes me very nervous with these new rule changes, because all of a sudden that pitch will get through, that weak contact will get through, and we're talking about a lot of big innings when it comes to Nestor Cortez. Potentially, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but out of all the pitchers that the Yankees have, he's the one that worries me the most. Because
I mean, again, man, I'm optimistic and hopeful. I think he showed you a lot. The whole thing about the shift being gone, I didn't think about that when I was making my point, and that does concern me with him, and with not just with him, but with a few guys in our rotation. Probably the only one that isn't going to be affected is Cole, because he has dominant,
Severino.
blow
And
past and stuff.
Severino is
Well, I
is
guess,
strike
yeah,
ball. Is
I guess
strike.
Severino also,
He's a
but like
strikeout guy.
Montas isn't that guy.
The strikeout guy.
He can.
No,
be,
he's a strikeout guy too. But yeah, he gets a lot of ground balls. So because he is more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
sinker
I can
focused.
rely on him getting. I can rely on Montas' sinker, because he's got a nasty sinker, and I rely on a righty on a righty, a ground ball to shortstop. As long as I can.
Yeah, don't forget sinker ball pitchers.
Out there.
Yeah, don't forget that sinker ball pitchers tend to hit the ball straight to an infielder, When it comes to
Yep.
weak contact can find the hole. Remember, weak contact can find holes. Sinker ball pitchers like we saw with Chin Ming Wong back in the day. We're talking about
Oh
just
yeah.
a bowling ball that'll go straight to the shortstop, straight to the
Yeah.
second base. That's what a sinker ball pitcher can do. Nestor's not a sinker ball pitcher. He's a cutter, fastball, changeup kind of guy. Weak contact can get through. You can pull that
Yep.
ball very, very easily. Even if you only hit it 80 miles an hour, it can still get through. So again, he's the one pitcher in the Yankee rotation that worries me the most with these new rule changes. It just makes the most sense because weak contact is weak contact. Weak contact can get through with these new rule changes.
Mm-hmm.
I can see where you're coming from. I can definitely agree with that. It's hard for me to dispute that, but like I said, man, I'm just
Homer.
optimistic and hopeful because
You're
I've
a
seen.
homer.
Am I
You're
a
a homer.
Cuban? Am I a Cuban homer, bro? Is that what it is? Como él es cubano,
You're a
como yo.
Cuban
O sea,
Yankee homer. You're a Cuban Yankee homer for
ay,
sure.
come on.
You're a Cuban Yankee homer.
Nah, bro. Nah. Tampoco así. Tampoco
100%.
así. Mira.
That's why we need the third. That's why we need the third voice here. So we need that Yankee Cuban homer here. We need that.
That's right.
Oye, it's not my fault that the dude was freaking played out of his mind, pitched out of his mind, did his whole,
He's gonna get paid.
thing that
He's
he
gonna pay this
does where he lifts his leg up and does this weird funky delivery where he throws you off with his timing. He made us Cubans proud, bro. You can't blame me for being proud as a fellow Cuban, and especially a fellow Cuban from Hialeah where he's from.
He's gonna get his first year of arbitration. He's gonna get about $6 million, which again, that's more money than I ever thought he was gonna make because he was just absolute garbage with the Orioles and Seattle, and his first stint with the Yankees. So I never thought he was gonna get there, and obviously he got there, well deserved. I hope he makes his cash and makes it last.
Yeah.
Because again, you just don't know how long this little train's gonna last for, and I give him credit.
We get some little bit of breaking news at the moment. Cardinals are closing in on Wilson Contreras, so that helps us out with the.
Oh, that'd be
Houston
great.
Astros.
That's awesome.
Yes, that works for me.
0 drop off in their catchers, going from Yachty to Wilson.
Yeah.
Holy hell!
Good for them.
Good for them.
And it's a perfect decision because you're facing who in the Central are you really scared of?
Nobody.
Exactly.
It's
dead silent in here.
And he gets to go against the Cubs for 10
the
games
Pirates,
every season.
The Cubs, the Reds, and the Brewers. Who are you really scared of when the Brewers are clearly on their drop off and the other three teams are like top or bottom 3 in the league? They are god awful. So you got yourselves an easy division to take.
Enrique, let me ask you something. I think this has got to me right now. I think it's a good question. The Brewers. So we talk about the Brewers are on the downturn of their window. They're regretting that Christian Yelich extension very much. Right now.
Yes, they are.
That Christian Yelich extension is absolute hot garbage. And after one big year, one MVP.
Hold on.
Oh, fuck.
I felt it. I was like, I feel like we're losing him because he's starting to fade off.
I was about to make a damn good
I
point.
think he's back.
Sorry about that, boys. Go ahead,
Right.
Alex.
He didn't want to hear the
question?
point. He was like, I'm out.
All right. The one big year with Christian Yelich, MVP, absolutely dominated the league for one season. He got great contract at the moment. That contract is garbage right now. Absolute trash.
Dog water.
Why would water? Just absolute trash. Why in the hell would you be excited for this Aaron Judge contract? A cautionary tale, man. It's a huge caution. It's Christian Yelich, an absolute stud of a player, and he's done. He's done. After one MVP season, he's done. For another 7 years. Done.
My only answer to you on that is that Judge is not the type of player that Yelich was at that time. Yelich was a stud. Don't get me wrong, an MVP player. Candidate. That's what I'm saying.
And he won an MVP
candidate. He was a
stud.
Won the MVP.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Almost two.
And
almost two MVP.
He lost to Bellinger.
He hit for contact. He hit for power. I get it. All the comparisons are there, but I feel that Judge, even at the year that he had last year, which again, I get you, both of your points that we may never see that again, but that level of play that he showed us is better than the level of play that Christian Yelich showed. Like Christian Yelich is not at Aaron Judge's level. You
Yeah,
know,
sure. I I
I mean,
see what you're
he
saying.
was
Yeah,
good, but
the
if you
Brewers
put
didn't
both of them
anticipate the
side by
drop off.
side, if you put both of their years side by side,
Yeah, can you
not just
imagine?
statistically, but even with the eye test, like having watched both seasons, who was more impressive? Who looked like they could lead a team, and who was more worth the money? You know what I'm saying?
I don't know, man.
You
Well, it's
can make
I
the
don't
debatable.
argument
know.
that the Brewers gave him
It,
that deal, bro, because
I
who
don't
else did they
know.
have?
Dude, he had
that's debatable though because
two straight seasons
two
of
really
just
good seasons.
absolute dominance. He went from
Well,
he hit
let's look at it, right?
yeah, okay, look, he hit 326 in 18. He hit 329 in 19.
With a
36 home
429
runs in
on
18,
base,
44. Just an absolute beast of a freaking player.
1100 OPS, which is exactly what Judge did.
Exactly.
Judge just had the home runs, sure, but imagine having a drop off of 44 home runs in 19, and then
And look
obviously
at
the
the
COVID
average.
year,
Look at the
and then
average.
in 2021 he had
Yeah.
nine,
9.
44 to 9, from a
I mean,
329 batting average to 248.
listen, man, you
He's
don't
done.
know. You don't know.
I'm not
Maybe
saying Judge will do that, but
Yeah.
that's a big fear
maybe there's an
to
underlying. Oh, I
have.
get it. I get it. And look. The way I look at it is this.
And he did it at 26 and 27 years old. And now he's Judge's age
I
and he's
get it,
done.
but I mean, I get it, but at the end of the day, bro, the way I look at it, you just don't know. You don't know if
No,
there
you
was
don't know.
underlying factors. You don't know if maybe
No,
health had a
he
reason
has
to
back
do with
issues.
his decline and his,
No, Yelich has back issues.
yeah, that's what I'm
100% he
saying.
has back
So
issues.
you don't know. So you don't know
But
if that's a reason for that. You know what I'm saying?
no,
For his
it's
decline.
part of the
If
problem, but we also know that we know that Judge is
I
going to
know
break down.
before you say it, I know that's yeah, exactly. I think that's what you were about to say. That I know that's one of the big risks with Judge. And
Yep.
they mentioned it on WFAN that he comes with injury risk. But he showed you this year that he can stay healthy. He stayed healthy for the entire
This
year.
this year,
Who's
1
to
year.
say he can't keep doing that from now on?
Who's to say he won't drop off the face of the earth? Who's to say? Who's to say? No, nobody knows. You don't know.
I mean, I
Can't tell
get
me you
it.
know. Nobody knows. That's why these
And
contracts
he's
and money
gonna
are
hit.
just aberration.
He's gonna. It's impossible for him to not get hurt again. The thing is for me, is the final 6 years is what I'm gonna be paying attention to the most of this contract, right? That's the one that like I said, 3 or 4 year window you have, but it's those final years. It's full no trade clause deal. You're stuck with him for 9 years. I'm not saying that in a negative way, but it is what it is now. We have him. This is it. He's gonna pass his physical probably in a day or two. He's gonna be a Yankee for life. It is what it is now. But I don't expect Judge to be the starting right fielder or even a center fielder now. But granted, we have Bader now, but a starting right fielder past 2026. I think then after that, you're settling for 4 years of DH Judge, which we've how many times are we settling on the DH position? I hate when that happens. I hate when every year we have someone guaranteed in the DH spot. And as soon as Stan's contract's up, Judge will just take over full time DH. So for the next 10 years, we've got full time DHs with two guys, just how it's going to be. And, I don't, he's 6'7". I'm not saying like, oh, like, hey, why is his body breaking down? He's 6'7", man. He's not going to be making diving catches. His speed is going to go down. He had the greatest FU season you could ask for ever. Ever. You will never see that again. It's again, love what he's done. It's just now you have to win. You have to win.
Mm-hmm.
You have to win, and you have to. This year, it's a failure to me. If you don't beat Houston, it's a failure. Doesn't matter. I don't care if you win 155 games. It's a failure if you don't beat Houston.
I agree.
You have to beat Houston, and then I know to me, you got if you beat Houston, you're in the World Series. That's basically what it is, and to me, it's World Series a bust for me. But Houston, if you beat Houston once, that kind of gives me, the motivation and the spirits of, okay, we've gotten better. We can beat this team now, and now we just upgrade. But if you can't get past the first wall, you're definitely not going to collect the trophy at the end by
Yeah,
going past the second wall.
maybe
So
if Houston didn't exist, maybe if Houston wasn't
if Houston didn't exist, we'd be 5-time champs. Judge would be in the Hall of Fame already because of everything
right,
he's
well,
done.
we'd
But
be
Houston
excited for
exists.
this
He
contract.
and he would have had 2 MVPs. Let's not forget.
Sure,
Yes, that's true.
but I'm saying, but if Houston didn't exist, we would be probably excited about this contract and the fact that he's going to be a Yankee long term. We probably would be excited about that if Houston didn't exist. But since they do exist, and I know that this team
and
is
they
not,
will exist for a long
they
time.
will exist for a long time. Their window is very, very, very big right now, and since they do exist, I can't be excited for a team that's going to get swept again in the playoffs. I can't get excited for a team that's going to get bounced in the playoffs again by Houston, because we know that's where inevitably this is going to go. They're the second best team in the American League, but they're the second best team by a huge margin compared to the first team. So that's the reason that me and Sean in this case, we can't get excited, because we know that this team is not enough to beat Houston. So again, why are we going to get so amped up for something that we already know what's going to happen? We know it. Unless Houston has injuries galore and their pitching all of a sudden drops off the face of the earth, the Yankees are fucked. They're not going to get past them again, unless the next couple of days we see some moves that just at least compares to their lineup. And right now we're not even sniffing their lineup. We're not even close. Even if we sign Benintendi, even if we get a healthy DJ, we're not even close to their lineup. So until we're close to their lineup, there's nothing to get excited about. That's why this is like, okay, we just kept our best player. Okay, we have a reason to keep. I have a reason to keep Judge as my password for most things. That's the
I have
only
a question.
thing I have right now.
I have a question. I want to ask you guys this.
Yeah.
The Mets are now at 298 million in their whatever cap.
Their payroll.
They're tier 4.
Their payroll. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're paying 90 cents to the dollar every time they make a move now.
Right.
On just tax. So it's basically paying double for a player now.
Pretty much.
And now that they just got Quintana, you'd have to think that takes them out of the Rodon sweepstakes, no?
For sure.
I would think so.
So then, who do you think?
The player they're linked to now, I saw, was a Japanese player. I can't. I don't. Yeah, that's who they're linked to now. That supposedly they're still in on him.
Well, so the Yankees. So that's what I'm saying. Like,
well, the thing about Senga or any Japanese player is now that their contracts are capped. So they're not going to make a lot of money. Yes. You have to pay the posting fee. The posting fee is what's expensive, but that doesn't count against your hero. Is when you pay the posting fee. Remember, their contracts are trash. They're absolute trash.
Yeah.
Then they make like maximum. Yeah, exactly. Well, like $2 or $3 million, like for the first 3 years. I think that's the max that they can make.
Yeah, it's always trash in the beginning. Yep.
Well, now because of the new rules. Before, when you were signing Tanaka and Matsuzaka and all that.
But Tanaka's deal wasn't even that crazy.
No, it was crazy. No, yes, it was. Look it up. The Tanaka's deal was wild.
I don't remember that being that crazy.
Tanaka's deal was big. It was like $80-something million or 100 and something. I think it was over 100 million, if I'm not mistaken. This was before the rule change.
That I remember, but oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, Tanaka's deal was very big.
You're right. Well, what was Otani's at the time?
If you look, it was a trash deal. It was like $3 or $4 million. It was very, very.
So that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. So now, a player of Senga's caliber is a steal for whoever gets him. That's why if I'm the Yankees, I'm looking at the. I've said this a couple of weeks ago. I'm looking at the Japanese market for the next player. I'm looking right at the Japanese market because
I was trying to say with Rodon, who's in the conversation for Rodon now?
Oh, who's it? I mean, you can.
It has to be.
You figure San Francisco. Now. Well, you figure San Francisco now with the money that they didn't use on Judge is still in play. I think it comes down to the Giants and the Yankees. I figure it comes down to those two teams again, because the Yankees have the money and the Giants now all of a sudden have the money. How about this? If the Giants sign Rodon back and they get a Correa, that's a win. That's a win for them. Good for them.
Yeah.
It's better than one player. You get two. That's basically what I'm looking at there. That's a win for
it's
them.
something we'll definitely see for now.
Yeah, and then
I really do hope that they get Rodon the Yankees, because that would be a big change in what this team
well,
is all about.
think about this also, Sean and Enrique. Now that we saw that the Padres offered Judge supposedly 400 for 10, which again I don't know if I believe that or not, and supposedly that they offered 342 for 11 for Trey Turner. They're in the market for somebody in that position. So you got to look out for Xander Bogaerts and Carlos Correa to potentially end up in San Diego. They can pivot themselves and spend that money on Rodon. Like San Diego is ready to keep, and at the same time they might be ready to trade Tatis, like we talk about. So, and even if you trade Tatis, he's one of the best players in the game when he's healthy. But with all these questions surrounding him, it looks like a salary dump.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well, we'll definitely see. I'm gonna wrap this up
Yeah,
so we can all go to work.
yeah.
It
I
was
mean,
a very eventful morning.
yeah.
So all the San Francisco Giant fans just finding out about this now. Sorry, but Judge Judge goes back to his new home, which is really his real home. And I know Enrique is over the moon over this. So the Yankees got to continue to build up. They got to keep going. It goes way beyond Judge now. Yes, you got your biggest free agent. You got the biggest free agent in the market, which is always a good thing. But now you got to do a lot more things with it. You have to go out and get the Rodons of the world and the Benintendis plus two or three some, and you got to get the bullpen help. You got to trade Hicks. You got to do something with Donaldson or IKF, one of the two. There's still a lot of moves to be made. A lot of moves to be made, and you got to compare yourself to Houston, unfortunately, and you look at their rotation, you got to match it or do better, and then you got to look at their lineup and you got to match it and do better. So that's the blueprint right now. That's the model, and you got to go out there and get it. And hopefully between now and spring training in March, the Yankees have a better team, a much better team. And obviously, we'll keep going, and we'll talk about this later on in the upcoming days. But I'll let you guys finish it up here. I think the Yankees have a lot to do, and I'm excited to see what the Yankees do tonight and moving forward.
I agree. That's everything. That's everything, man. What they do beyond this move. This move was just the beginning in my eyes. And if it got done, it got done. If it didn't, it didn't. But now that it got done, what's next? And
Exactly.
well, like Enrique might know this. It's I'm quoting the great Bill Goldberg. Who's next?
No idea, but
Very, very good one by you. That's one of the best WCW wrestlers ever, Sean. I know you used to watch WWF, so maybe you didn't know who he was because maybe you didn't watch WCW. But I completely agree with you, Alex, and that's a good quote by you, quoting Goldberg, man. And I agree. I agree. I'm excited to see who's next. I was hoping I was preparing myself this morning. Full disclosure, boys. I was preparing myself this morning for the realistic possibility that Judge was going to be gone, and it had me a little down. I'm not going to lie. So the fact that, like I said at the beginning of this live, I heard the opposite breaking news come out from WFAN on their morning show, and it just brightened up my day. I couldn't be happier. I'm glad number 99 is staying a Yankee. I hope that, like we've talked about in previous episodes of the podcast, I hope this means he's going to be named the first Yankee captain since Derek Jeter. I hope that becomes official in the coming days, or at least before spring training. And, yeah, man, I agree with both of y'all. I think there needs to be more that's done. This is a great first step. You kept your best player. You kept arguably the best player in baseball. I know we argued yesterday.
nope.
Black.
And that looks like it's going to be the end for Enrique. The internet said he was done before he was done. So,
Phone probably died.
Probably.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm gonna wrap this up. this was fun. We will continue this maybe either in a couple days or whatever, unless the Yankees do some crazy things between now and tomorrow morning. But we got some crazy stuff ahead and some much needed work ahead. Enrique's back. I'll let him close it out. Close it out as you switch over to
My
data.
bad, guys. I got a call in. I was saying that I know we argued yesterday. You boys made the case yesterday that the best player in baseball is Otani. Um, you can make a case for that because he pitches and he hits, but aside from that, if Otani was not in Major League Baseball right now, you could literally make the case that it's Aaron Judge. So to get a player like that back is of that caliber is major. To keep him in your fold, it's major. You got the captain of your team, and just build around him now. Build around him now. That's all I have to say. Build around him. Like we said in previous episodes of the podcast, show him that you mean business. Show him that you want to win. That you want to win not just one championship, but multiple championships. And put some winning players around them. You know what I'm saying? Add a Rodon. Add Go nuts. Add a Correa. Why not? You know, go for it,
Exactly.
man. Become the evil empire again. And if you're not going to, dang it, Volpe better be for real. That's what I'm gonna end it on, man. Put a
Well, if
winning
you're not,
product
then what
around
was
this
this deal
man.
all for?
Mm-hmm. Put a winning product around this man. That's all I gotta say.
Exactly. An actual winning product, not a winning season. Exactly.
Yep. Don't make him regret re-signing with y'all, man. Show him that he made the right choice staying in the Bronx. That he'll do more winning here than in San Francisco. Show him that.
Exactly. All right, guys. We'll talk soon. Everyone enjoy a nice, fresh day of work. And Judge is a Yankee, and hopefully many more will to come. So we'll talk soon. See you guys.